All right, that's all good. So go ahead and type it. Yeah, for the most part, each business is assigned to a BSO, but there are some businesses here that are not. I'm not entirely sure which ones are, which ones are not. But if you're a business and you're not assigned to a BSO, please let us know. If you, we'll see if we can get you to work with one BSO. If not, we'll try to arrange something else. What's the name of your business, Judy? And where is it located? Nature's Finest Products, Dominica. Okay. All right. So I'll try to, and you're not, and I'm guessing that you're not working with any BSOs at this current time. All right. So we try to make some arrangements there. Ramona, let's look into the BSOs from Dominica, see if any of them are willing to work with Judy. If not, I'll take a look at what Judy is doing and see where I can support her, where we can support her. All good, Judy. That's what we're here for. Okay, VEAP crew, that has been 5 minutes. And as I said, time is of the essence. Time is valuable. All right. So let's get going. We are pressed for time as usual. Leighton has a very intense and very informative session planned for today. This is lead generations, I think it is, Leighton. But before we get going on leads generation, there are a few housekeeping rules that we have to get to. The Google forum, there are forms there that needs to be filled out. So please attend to that. Simple housekeeping rules. We need to make this program as successful as possible. We need to be able to repeat this program, make it better next going around. So we need your help in addressing the questions that we have posted in the Google form. Next thing, and probably most important, we need to get to the bottom of the why. And again, we're gonna need your feedback. So last week, workbook 2 and 3 got only 2 responses. Workbook 4, only 1 response. We need to understand why this isn't being attended to. What is the challenge? This is not, again, please don't misread what I'm saying. I'm just trying to get to understand how can we make it easier for you guys to address the workbooks, because this is important, right? The success of this program is important. Your success is important. You're here, you're taking time, you're taking your energy to show up to this program so that you can follow a roadmap to e-commerce success. And a critical part of that roadmap is the workbooks. So I would assume that it's important to you to get this filled out. So if it is important to you and is not being addressed, I need to understand why so that we can make this better. Shanella is saying, can the workbook be sent during or before the weekend? Yeah, but it is sent on Fridays. Generally, it's sent on a Friday. Come on, anybody, anyone from the BSOs that sees a challenge with the workbooks, any of the businesses that took a look at these workbooks and say, all right, there's too much here for me. These are asking too much of me. Anyone? There has to be a reason why the workbooks are not being addressed.
Hi, good morning. This
Oh,
is
thank you.
Pork munchies. For me, like the workbook for last session, sometimes how the documents are sent, they are not obvious. So for me, I've never seen the workbook for last week, but I've seen the workbook for the costing, which I'm working on, but it takes a little time if you have quite a few products to do the costing and then follow up the other forms. But the last workbook I have not seen. Maybe it's there, but I have not seen it.
Okay, so Kathy, from my understanding, right, is you're just not aware that the workbooks are there. You're just not receiving them in a timely manner.
So the two for the costing and so, I saw those, so I'm working on those, but it takes me a little time to put in all the, get all the costings right and make sure the information is accurate and correct. But the last workbook for last week, because I would scroll through, make sure I see everything, I see the slides, but I have not seen the workbook, as I'm saying, probably it's in the mail, but I have not seen it because sometimes they are not. So the workbook would be in the email sent, but it's not that obvious.
Okay,
if I'm
okay.
making sense.
Yeah. Making sense. I totally get that, right? That's one of the sessions that I do as well, right? How do you manage your time around just managing and operating your business, right? If you are a small business owner, yes, it is quite a challenge checking your emails constantly, trying to do these workbooks and still operating your business. Yes, I do understand the challenge. There's a time issue, a time constraint issue. Totally get it. So if it is that you need more time with these workbooks, you guys, again, just as Kathy is saying, you need to let us know. Let us know, hey, we received them. It's not that we're ignoring them, not that we don't think they're important. It's just that we need more time trying to get these things precise. And if you need support with these workbooks, again, this is why your BSOs are here. The BSOs need that same feedback that we're getting. They also need that hands-on experience working along with the workbook with each of you guys. This is how they get better at preparing the documents that you currently have. They're your business support organizations, right? That's why it's a BSO. They're there to support you. Reach out to them. If the BSOs are having a challenge with the workbooks as well, they would reach out to us. But this is important in your roadmap to becoming successful at e-commerce. That's why you're showing up here. So if you need help, ask for it. All right, I'm trying to read the chat now to see. Yeah, it's all good, Kathy. Just as I said, just reach out. That's why we're here. We're here to help.
Okay, so we're not ignoring the workbook, but for the costing one, to get it right, it's taking me a little time. but I'm
Yeah.
working on it.
Yeah, I totally get it. And costing is, as you know, costing is important. I don't want you leaving money on the table.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Catherine. Probably I'll reach out to you. Send me an email. Let's figure out where you are with your business and see how we can help. That is Catherine Pereira. Judy has started costing. Whenever I open the file, it's blank. All right, that's strange, right? Okay, let's see how we could work in that, Judy. Again, you don't have a BSO assigned to you, so I'll have to take a look at yours and see what challenges that you're having. If you can shoot me an email and I'll try to get another file over to you. Thanks. Can the workbook be sent in Word format? Tashika, is there any reason why you wanted it in Word format as opposed to a fillable PDF form or a Google form?
Hey,
And
morning.
you have not.
I don't
Go
mind
ahead.
having it in a fillable PDF, you know, but what I have seen, and it could be that I just missed it. I've only seen it in the PowerPoint, so it's very difficult to do any editing there.
Okay, so you haven't challenged editing it.
Yes,
Okay.
I have not been able to, but I had reached out to my BSO and they formatted it for me, so I would then fill that one out. But I'm just saying, going forward, it needs to be something that we can edit, something that we could, you know.
Excellent. You see how that process works well? You reach out
I
to the
would also
BSO
like
and the
to
BSO help.
agree in terms of the format. I think that having it via a Word document or something that is
Leo, you got, no, that could be me.
Gilbert, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I just didn't hear the end of Leo's statement. Okay, but we
Hi,
had Joseph.
sir.
Yeah, Leo, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. My internet just disconnected. I was just saying that it might be helpful to have it in a Word document so that it could continuously be a working document for the folks as opposed to it being in a form that you submit it and send it to.
Right, I get what you're saying. So if there are future changes to be made to this document, one of the things that we would like to do is have a controlling point where those changes are made. If we send it in a Word document, it means that anyone and everyone can change it, and we will not be able to keep track of those changes, right? So therefore, there's not a central document that we say, okay, this is the best version of the document to actually send out. As opposed to if you guys said to us, hey, some changes that we suggest, and again, guys, remember, this is perfectly okay for you to say, here are some suggested changes to this document to allow it to be read better, to be addressed better. So send those suggestions to us as well, all right? But the idea is, we're taking some time, Leighton has taken a critical amount of time to create this document. So if he has some idea of what your feedbacks are along the line of that document, and we can make those changes from a central point where everyone benefits from those changes, that would be great. So I appreciate the feedback in that. So, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from with that. Go ahead, Leoy.
Yeah, so while I do understand, maybe we could probably do things both ways. So, for example, I'm just thinking about a business who may want to expand on a particular section, but they don't want to share that information, and that's fine if it is they find that that's personal information for their business. So they would want a document that they could work on that is housed for their business that they may not want to share with everybody. And I think that's fine. And then they could also submit information to the survey or the form that you guys could also have. That would be beneficial for the program in totality.
Appreciate that feedback. So Leighton, you, myself, Philip, and Ramona would take that into consideration and see what is advisable that we just send a copy in Word document to the BSOs for their further distribution. All right. Someone else's hand was up a while ago and I completely missed that. Joseph Samuel. Joseph, you're still interested in saying your piece?
Yes, sir.
Joseph Emmanuel, sorry.
Yeah, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Right, so the email, when I got the emails, it didn't say below is attached a workbook. So when we scroll down and we see a PowerPoint, we only think, well, okay, it's probably the PowerPoint that was presented today that is being sent. So we never know that there are workbooks attached to it.
So just a failure in proper communication there. All right, so that's noted, and we will address that. Appreciate that feedback, Joseph. Someone else had their hands up a while ago. I can't remember who that is. So yeah, those feedbacks are really, really important. And I am happy that you guys are giving it now. Okay. Okay, it's in PowerPoint. Yes, I agree. Okay. So companies with big SKUs are having challenges with the format. Okay.
You said with large SKUs a while ago, Gilbert?
Yeah, they have lengthy SKUs. Did we make provisions for that in the workbook?
I think they may be referring to the financial projections, because if you do have a lot of products, it can become a very lengthy document, you know.
Yeah, and
simply because of how it projects the information, it allows you to document every single product type, category, and have those represented there. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, keep in mind as well that this is a projection document. It's not an audit of your business. It's supposed to give you an idea of what is achievable. So if it is that you have a lot of product SKUs, which I can understand, maybe if there is an average cost, price, and margin per category or per product type, maybe you could use that as well instead of listing all the products. So for example, let's use an example of a supermarket. A supermarket stocks, I mean, at least probably 100,000 products, like lots of SKUs of products, right? But it's still categorized in different areas. So for instance, you might have the bake area, you may have the home goods area, you may have the area for washing, you know, stuff like that. You could categorize, and generally your products are of a similar nature, may have similar margins. Yes, one product, it may take more to make it, but your cost accordingly, but generally for your product types and product areas, your margins are around about the same, or at least at the same scale. So maybe what you could do in that case is to use product categories. And I've done that in the past as well with the same document where, you know, I just had too many products in it. It became too difficult to also micromanage. So instead of me saying, all right, I'm going to send 10 bowl of cake, 10 biscuits, I just said, all right, I'm going to sell 100 baked goods. So you get where I'm coming from, and allows me to manage a category instead of micromanaging the product. So I think it's in relation to the financial projections. If it is that you do have a lot of SKUs of products, recommend that you consider using your product categories or your product types. However, you group your products according to similarity and support, generally come up with similar type of margins, cost, and expense, pricing and expense models, right? So that's your recommendation for that. Gilbert, back to you.
All right, cool, thanks. My other suggestion is, our aim here is to ensure that you understand how you're working with the document. So you don't have to send back the document with every one of your items. I would like to know that you understand how to do your financial projection, let's say with 1, 2, 3 items, or you know how to do your costing with 1, 2, or 3 items. If you have more than that, now you could use that document going forward in running your business, not necessarily as part of this program where you're sending back every item that you have and ensuring that each item is correct. An understanding, a sound understanding of how the document actually works is what I'm looking for. So if you send it back with only 2 items, despite the fact that you have 20, that is fine. All right. Is there a deadline for submitting the current modules?
We want it to be submitted weekly. What we want is for you to be able to keep up with the course content and the information. So I think Gilbert hit the nail on the head, guys, where what we want you to do is attempt it now. We can always fine tune, because again, I'm going to share again my own experience of participating in a similar business development program. I will tell you that what I did was just to try to write down my thoughts then and there. So some of us may feel like we need to sit down for 2, 3, 4 hours to get this thing perfect. No, the idea is not for perfection today. The idea here is that spend half an hour. Don't spend more than half an hour, because you guys are very busy. And you have to make time for the sessions, you have to make time to going over your work videos if you're watching them back. I'm sorry, the videos if you're watching them back. And also to complete the workbook. Now the workbook, guys, I can't stress enough how much of a powerful tool this can be for your business, right? But at the end of the day, what we want you to do is to attempt the workbook with your current thinking. So as Gilbert mentioned a while ago, if you have 100,000 products, listen, you can attempt the workbook with even 1, because it allows you to see how you can leverage the workbook to even bring innovations, new products to market. Bringing a new product to market that you've never tested before. I want to project, all right, what does this look like financially? You can do it even 1 product. You get where I'm coming from? What I want for you guys to do is to attempt it. You will not get all the things right within this short 6-month period. I've been in business for 11 years now, around about, and I'm still trying to get a lot of things right, yeah? And this is the journey of a small business. What I want to do, guys, as I said, attempt it now and perfect as you go. And keep in mind as well that we're going to have the practical element of the business. So we need to have you guys aligned with, what am I doing? How am I going to structure it? Leaving it with a blueprint, right? Leaving you with a blueprint. I will tell you flat out, guys, that whilst I am creating the workbook on my end, I am also doing real world consultations with real clients using the workbook format to help them figure out their e-commerce strategy. And I will tell you that the biggest feedback that comes back from the workbook is that most time persons have a general idea about some of these things, but the workbook allows them to organize their thoughts, allow them to put it together in a way that allows you to see it very clearly. There's nothing better, guys, than when you can run your business and be very clear with yourself, with your team, with the persons who you are reporting to, on how you are going to do what you are going to do. And this is exactly what the workbook delivers, right? So it's something that we pride as being a very important part of the program. It is also something that you will not find anywhere else out there, especially as it relates to our regional circumstance, right? So this is a very key resource, guys. This is an important part of the deliverable for the VEAP program, to leave you guys with a blueprint that you can carry on with for your current business and even adapt for new business. And for BSOs, they will be able to leverage this and support any type of business in any industry, no matter what it is. So I can't stress anymore how important it is to complete the workbook. Completing workbook is just as important as showing up on these sessions every single week. And right now, see, we have 58 persons, we have at least 60 to 70, 80 persons every single week I see on this meeting. It is just as important as showing up is completing the workbook. All right, just want to echo that sentiment. Gilbert, back to you.
All right, Michelle, go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, good morning. First of all, let me say good morning to all participants. And I just wanted to really congratulate you on how you are putting this program across and the support that you're putting there. I wanted to give feedback in response to the question you asked from the position of where I sit. I'm actually not a business owner, but I should have said, first of all, the company I am representing is a company called Maycliffe Limited, which is currently operating out of Barbados. But I am a business development manager on behalf of that company. So I am participating in your session through what would be a leg here in Barbados that we work through. Now, I did not get to join your program at the beginning of when it started. I actually got to join your program from what would have been your third session. So I have been playing catch up all the way along from when I started. Now, what I wanted to confirm with you, I know I have completed the first workbook. I know I have completed the pricing sheet and submitted. I believe next step is the financial model. And then after that, system website operations. Am I correct in saying that, Gilbert, that would bring me up to date with the 4 workbooks that are necessary?
That is correct.
Okay.
Go ahead, Leighton.
Oh, I was saying correct. I was saying correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that I am on the right page. I will say that I do agree with some of the feedback that has come in that if you do have a lot of SKUs, that some of the sheets are quite extensive to fill out. But with your clarification this morning, I know I can move forward more swiftly because I won't necessarily submit all of the information. I will submit some to make sure I'm moving in the correct direction.
That is it. That is it. It's an understanding. It's an understanding of where you are, not a perfection of what you're doing. Okay.
What I will say as well, guys, what I will say as well is, where e-commerce is concerned, especially for businesses that are operating already. If you have, a lot of SKUs, that means you're in business. You're not starting up yesterday, right? It means then that you also may have some top selling products. When it comes to e-commerce, you wanna build on what is already working. You get me? Because one of the beauties, guys, about this format, and today you're gonna see it come out even more in my module on lead generation. The beautiful thing about this format, guys, is that you can take a set it, leave it, and monitor it approach, right? Meaning that once you set it up, it can become a permanent part of your business. You just tweak your strategy, whether like quarterly, every 6 months or yearly. But the key thing here is that if it is that you have a lot of products, list maybe your top 5 SKUs, top 5 product areas, and just work with that, right? Use the experience of building out what is already working very well for you offline to see how it transitions online, and then you can add the rest of stuff thereafter. But when it comes to e-commerce, one thing that we definitely want to do is to build on what is already successful. Why? Because it is more mature, it is less likely for change and iterations. So if it is that you should invest in creating, let's say, for instance, a landing page for your #1 seller, chances are next year that product is still going to be one of your top sellers and the landing page still will become relevant. So maybe next year, instead of building a landing page, now maybe you're developing a video asset, a video ad, to run campaigns to your landing page. When you think about your e-commerce build, guys, think about it in mind. It's like especially if you have a lot of products, think about it in a 2 to 3 year span. How can I build out? Because at the end of the day, you won't have the money and budget to build out everything at once. You won't have the time as well. You won't have the team capacity as well to build out everything at once. So you may pick out some low hanging fruits and say, let me run with this for this year, which may be creating an artwork, just having a simple product page, and figuring out your ad campaigns and so forth. Maybe next year adding stronger collateral things like landing pages, videos, and you're having a bigger budget. You understand? But you don't start from scratch and just do the whole 9 yards in one go. That is not the approach. The approach here is to bite off what we can chew only to start today, and then we iteratively develop. And if we're going to take that approach, but one of the things that we definitely want to do is to start with what's working best for us already. All right. Gilbert, back to you. Gilbert, still there with us?
Sorry, talking whilst I was muted.
Okay,
All right,
gotcha.
again, with a full understanding that a large amount of the business here are micro businesses, some smaller. All right, and time is of an issue, it's of essence. You don't have a whole lot of time. You're taking time out to do this program. Then we asking you to do additional homework, right? This is the dream of you have a dream. You're trying to accomplish something great, and that requires sacrifice. We had a session last week. We ended early so that we could have a session with the BSOs. And one of the things that we talk about is the sacrifice that is needed, the commitment that is needed. And I will never short the investment that is required by a Caribbean business, a small business, a mom and pop's business. The investment of time, energy, and resources that it takes to run that business is enormous. So enough respect that you do that and that you're still showing up here and that you're still taking the time. But you want to go to the next space where you don't have to work consistently. And this is what e-commerce allows you, right? It allows you to make money whilst you sleep. You've invested your time, your energy. Now we put it out there for the rest of the world to continue to do business while you take some downtime. So this is a sacrifice that you're making now. The additional time required to fill out those workbooks, to go over the videos, to make sure that you fully understand. And more importantly, to ask just the questions that you need answered, to ask for the support that you need. This is the time. So let's do that. Any other challenges that you guys have that you want to air at this point in time? With Take Me Your Feedback, we're going to address those issues. Ramona has committed to sending out the workbook in a Word format so that it can be modified by the BSOs, shared with the businesses. All right. We understand that it's not about perfecting the workbook, it's about showing that you understand what the process is like.
Right. Gilbert, one of the feedback that came over from the forum was that the person that they needed an outline of the information needed to complete the workbook, right? This is the reason, guys, why when we're going through the workbook example with you, we use Kim's Beauty as the standard business that we use as our working example. We have built out a case study describing exactly what Kim's Beauty is so that everybody can align and understand the business that we are replicating here online, right? So what we do is that we complete the workbook with Kim's Beauty's information that acts as the outline for how we enter the information and different considerations that we go through. Of course, Kim's Beauty, although it supports many different types of business models and sales models, it will not connect with every single business in every single way. The idea behind it is to give you guys a working example that you can follow and then apply yourself from there. So in response to that question, where the outline is concerned, let's take note that the information we fill out every week with Kim's Beauty acts as that outline and should be able to provide the amount of clarity and information that is needed to follow the sheet, right? So that's really the response for that. As Gilbert also mentioned, as it relates to the information is sent out weekly. you know, one of the things that came back from our BSO session last week is that we will be including a feedback link in every email that you get weekly. So, you know, you guys, I will let you know that what is going to be standard included in every single email that is sent over to you guys. You're going to have the link to the session. You're going to get the workbook. I don't remember if Ramona also attaches the slides. I think he does attach the slides from the session separate from the video link to the session. Then there's also going to be this feedback link, which is really anonymous link that allows, well, a link that allows persons to anonymously submit feedback, any questions. So what I will say is that the feedback link, Ramona, let's not change it week to week. Let's keep the same link every single week. So you guys just want to have the link. I know that there are different persons who will participate in the program in different ways. There are some persons who are comfortable unmuting their mics and speaking up and asking questions. There are some other persons who will be a little bit more shy, timid, to ask the questions. Maybe it is that they're not confident or don't want to feel fooled, or for whatever reason. We are going to be using this link as a way for persons to anonymously submit questions that they need clarification on, right? You can choose to submit those questions while you're working on your workbook. You can choose to submit these questions while reviewing the content later on. You can choose to submit these questions even in the middle of the sessions, right? For BSOs, you can also add your own questions as well when working with the businesses on your session. So if it's that you're in the middle of a session and you find there's a question that you're not so clear on, feel free to drop those questions in there. Try to be as clear as possible though, right? So we can have as much content to respond accordingly. But at the end of the day, guys, what we're doing is providing a direct line to us to submit that feedback. And what we will seek to do weekly at the beginning of the call is to pull up that list of feedback and address them accordingly, right? I will also encourage persons to not be afraid to use their own businesses as examples when asking these questions, so that we can address the issue within your context, right? So this is a new initiative that came out of our BSO conversation last week. And the aim here is that we want to provide as much direct support from the master trainers as we can, as we have echoed continuously. We are here to support you. We're committed 150%. You know, I'm not saying 100%. We are willing to overcommit to you guys to really, you know, ensure that you are getting everything from the program. One of the main reasons for my motivation behind this is that I know the value that you guys are getting is not readily accessible, and I know there's no other program like this regionally as well to get access to this type of information. So we're very intentional about the time that we're spending here, and as part of being intentional, we're also intentional about providing necessary support to the different BSOs and participants as is needed. Gilbert, back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Leighton. Yeah, as Leighton is saying, man, and I said this time and time again, I have a horse in this race. I have a couple of horses in this race. Spent the last couple of years, I could say, but maybe 5 or 6 years trying to write the narrative of e-commerce and e-business in the Caribbean. A lot of sacrifice. And I know you guys are making the same sacrifices, and you deserve quality, you deserve value. So we show up here with the intention of bringing value. I know there's a lot of resources that I have in my back pocket, that I have on my desk. I have a lot of resources. But in the short space of time that I'm allotted to deliver those resources to you, there are things that may have slipped me. So I am, again, beseeching you, ask for the support that you need. We may not have mentioned it, doesn't mean that we don't have it or we don't have the resources to it. Ask, and we'll try to get that to you as soon as possible. All right, so let's jump into the session. I know Leighton has a big session to deliver today, and we are looking for your feedback. Whether it's I will be on the chat, I'll be addressing your questions, and I'll be bringing them to Leighton's attention if I can't answer them. All right, so let's jump on in later.
Yeah, man. All right, thanks for that, Gilbert. Can't echo anymore, guys, the importance of doing the work. And I will say that you will only get out of this program as much as you put in. It is going to be difficult sometimes to meet the program objectives, whether it is to join the sessions or complete the workbook formats.
Stick a pin later. Stick a pin later. And I do not like the word difficult. It would be challenging. But we come from a space that is challenging. The Caribbean has always been challenging. What you're doing has always been challenging. The reason we are here is to make it significantly more manageable. All right, so yeah, jump on in.
Yeah, man, thanks for that, Gilbert. So at the end of the day, guys, you know, making these adjustments to your business is like fixing a car while it's driving. You can't take your foot off the gas, you can't just stop the business and say, oh, let's pause right here and fix these things and continue. Nope. Us as small business do not have that luxury. I will tell a flat out that right now I'm in the business. I'm in the middle of transitioning my business because of an acquisition. I can tell you guys, it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in business because again, you have to keep the business going because you have bills to pay, you have team members to pay. Yeah, there's no excuse for pulling back and support. So, you know, VEAP is very much going to be like that, guys. Have to fix the car while it's driving, and we have to be committed to getting it done. One of the things I will tell you, and you know, as an entrepreneur, I used to always just focus on trying to grow sales, you know. And the minute I started to focus on building capacity within my business to not only grow sales, but allow other resources into my business to support the goals and objectives of the company, I've never stopped building capacity since. So, you know, this program is a capacity building program that helps you guys to put the necessaries in place so that, you know, one day you can be on the beach sipping pina coladas and your business is running. Checks are still coming, the money is hitting the bank, team is operating, and, you know, you may be responding to 1 or 2 emails here and there, 1 or 2 messages here and there. But, you know, it's running. You know, a business, guys, is not your brick and mortar office or storefront. A business is a set of operations that are continuously running, right? Whether they are a physical business or virtual business, when you have a clearly defined process with people executing those processes, when you have a business. Until you are able to take yourself fully out of the operation. And when I say fully, I mean that you're not turning every single week. Yes, you're still making decisions, you're being a manager, right? But you're not taking up this and moving it over there and stuff. Until you're able to take yourself out of it, you're not running a business, you're in a house, right? You're running a one-man shop. A business must be able to operate without you. And this is one of the difficulties with the program because a lot of us are at this stage right now. So, you know, when we commit these 3 hours to this session, you know, there is something around there that we may need to be keeping our eye on, or maybe we need to be multitasking and so forth. And we understand that, yes. But the long and short of it, guys, that we have to be committed to the development that we need. And as Caribbean people, we are very resilient in the things that we want. You know, the easiest way to get us to do something is to tell us that we can't do, right? They will give you 100% to get it done, simply because we're told we can't. We're very resilient, and I know we can get it done. So I'm eager to see who are going to be some of the you know, the high performing companies that come out of this program. I'll be glad to know that I have contributed positively to any of your development, and we look forward to seeing what that looks like. Today's session gets into generating leads with target marketing, and this is one of the most asked about topics. It's one of the areas that I get contracted to deliver content and support most on. After persons build out their websites, this is the area that they need to demystify next, right? So we wanted to lock in here, guys, on lead generation and on this lead generation module, I can almost guarantee you that you will see it being communicated in a format that you've never seen it before. We don't take a social media approach towards digital marketing, because a lot of times we think about lead generation, think about social media. Digital marketing, social media. It's not about social media, guys. It's about how it is that you find customers through the internet and attract those customers to your business. Just like when you have your physical store, Kim's Beauty is located in Montego Bay, a physical space. How does Kim's Beauty find leads, generate leads, find new opportunities for her business, get customers to enter the door, get them to keep on coming back, get them to bring a friend, a family, a foe, right? These are the things that we look at when we consider lead generation with target marketing. And when we say target marketing, we mean that we're being very direct. And that's one of the beautiful things about digital marketing, e-commerce, is that it really allows you to go directly after the type of customer that best fits your profile, you know. Throughout this engagement, we're going to be talking about you know, your digital customer journey, type of leads, how do we qualify leads, you know, sales pipeline, knowing your customer, how do we campaign, communication tactics that are important for generating interest and converting sales, right? Communication channels that we can use to drive and generate leads. And of course, marketing analytics and KPIs to monitor when we are running these campaigns, right? Now let's get into a digital customer journey. One of the key things here, guys, when you're looking at selling your products and services online, is that there's a path that the customer takes to sale. There's a path that the customer takes to sale and beyond. Give me a second, guys. Right. So there's a path to sale, and we have to optimize the customer's path to sale. So what's the typical path to sale, right? We're on our phones, we're maybe reading a news article from our favorite tabloid in our country. Where are we reading it? We may be reading it on their website, right? We may be interacting with the content for that same news article, maybe on the social media page, right? Or maybe we are Google searching something and, you know, we're looking for a solution to one of our problems. And then we see this link or something, and we know we're reading this article, and there's just either pop up an ad, or just a mention of a product, you know, something that captures your attention. You click on it and it brings you to some type of landing page or product page, home page, and, you know, you're reviewing it. Think about your Amazon journey when you're buying from Amazon or your favorite store online. You land on the page, you're browsing through, you're looking at different products. What are the things that will make you buy one product over the next? Oftentimes, when you're browsing through an example of using Amazon as an example, you're looking for shoes. One of the things, what are the things that will make you buy one shoes over the next shoe? You know, I remember recently I was online Amazon shopping for a gift for my wife, right? And there are these mobile watches that look, you know, very nice for females, and, you know, they look really good and thing, right? So I was like, let me see if I can get a mobile watch. I was on Amazon looking, and for some reason, when I found the mobile watches and the price ranges and so forth, for some reason, the display of the watch just did not look how it was not convincing enough for me to feel comfortable in buying it. Remember that I'm not seeing the product right in front of my eyes, right? I'm seeing it on their website page, and I have to make a buying decision based on the information that I'm seeing and so forth. The information about the watch was fairly comprehensive, but the images that were used just did not sit well with me. It's like this gold watch needed to look a little bit more goldy. You know, it was not what I expected it to look like in terms of its presentation. Because of that, I did not buy it. So we have to think about what happens when the customer lands on the website. You know, a lot of times people talk about bounce rate and they don't understand, you know, what is a bounce rate or what is causing your bounce rate. And these are some of the things that will allow a person to land on a page and not go any further with the process. So we have to understand the journey and the different things that are needed to optimize that journey to get customers to make the buying decisions that you want, right? So of course, customer lands on a website page or reviewing the products. They have found something that they like and they've decided to add to cart and check out. So that's typically the path to sale, right? But that is just a part of the process. When we look at the digital customer journey, we look at the process of optimizing the customer's pathway to sale and beyond. And the and beyond is very powerful because that's really where the power of e-commerce comes into play, the automation and the different things that you can put in place to get your customers to buy more, to bring friends, families, and foes, right? Think about, again, how it is that we get persons into your pipeline. You're a brand new company, you have no brand equity in the market, so that when people hear the name, let's say Planting Seeds, just turn out a random name of a company here in the cohort. Before this program, I never heard about Planting Seeds. So if I saw an ad on my social media or somewhere, it would first have to cut through to me to get my interest, because I don't know anything about Planting Seeds. It's not like it's a quartz ad or a digital ad or a Coca-Cola ad that right away I can resonate with it. These are things that we have to figure out. How is that we break into the market? How is that we generate leads? Drive confidence, get persons in, and this is the pathway that we pretty much set customers on. So first step is to look at generating leads, getting persons interested in what it is that you're buying or selling, right? Qualifying these leads, because not every lead is a buying customer. I remember when I was getting more into digital marketing and marketing my old business, and I started to get like 10 leads per day, filling out my customer lead form. I was like, man, I'm killing it. I'm killing it. And then when we started to call these leads, realized that these leads were not potential customers. So you have to go through a lead qualification process and be very clear about what is required to qualify a lead or not. Because you know what I mean, guys? I was wasting money on advertising budget because I was advertising, I was generating leads, but I was not connecting with the people who would buy from me or who I provided the best value, right? So we have to understand, what it takes to qualify a lead, and then of course what it takes to convert that lead so they can become a customer, right? Customer acquisition sometimes can be a very simple, straightforward process where somebody adds something to cart, and it can become a very lengthy exercise where we have to go through consultation, assessment, provide quotations, negotiate, contract, and all those things, depending on the type of business that we have, right? Also depending on the type of customer that we service. And of course, they say that for most businesses, I think they say that 80% of your sales come from your existing customers, or 20% of your customers, right? So long and short of it is that a customer buys one time, you want to get them buying again. It's easier to get a customer who has experienced your brand, especially in a positive way, to continue shopping with you, as opposed to get somebody who doesn't know anything about you to start shopping with you. So we always want to get our existing customers buying again. They're the ones we have a relationship with, while of course still getting new customers in. So, whilst we're still generating new leads, we have to be looking at how is it we get our existing customers to buy again. Then after we get customers to repurchase, then we want them to start talking about our business. We want them to start bragging about our business. We want them to tell persons about this thing that they bought, or share your website with other persons. We want them to become advocates for our business. How do we encourage that? We can do this by doing referrals, setting up referral systems, affiliate systems. These are systems that facilitate having persons out there talk about your brand, share your brand, and benefit from sharing such. So, a referral system will typically see somebody sharing a link to your website and receive maybe a point or two if the person who they shared the link with made a purchase, and they can use those points back towards repurchasing. Then you're talking about customer loyalty, where we get existing customers to continuously buy from you every single time they are in need for this particular service. And this is where we want to get to. We want to get to the point where we have a set of customers who are loyal to us, who are shopping with us every single time. And you would have heard me talk about customer lifetime value on this throughout these sessions before. Customer lifetime value comes from loyal customers who will buy from you periodically or every single time they have this need. They come straight to you. And using things like loyalty systems are a traditional way of getting customers to become loyal. So here in Jamaica, and I know in many countries they have the Magna point system, Magna card, and they have different types of point systems for supermarket, pharmacy, shopping, where you can swipe your card and get points for the purchases that you make, and after a while those points accumulate, and you can use those points to buy goods at any of these locations, right? It's the same thing with online. We can set up loyalty point systems that track persons' purchases, assign points to their accounts, and allow them to leverage those points to facilitate repurchasing. So I'm actually in the middle of executing a project like this right now for Massey here in Jamaica. And for we've actually identified one point system that is able to manage the delivery of referrals and loyalty points, right? So the same point system tracks everything. And it's a beautiful type of system, very integratable, not only on your website, but integrated with other sales and CRM-based systems to be able to track these types of things. And this is where I want to get to, guys, where, as I said, we have customers who are very loyal. I'll give an example of Expedia. Expedia is one of my travel apps that I use whenever I'm traveling. I book hotels and flights and even tours through Expedia. And I've gotten to the point where I just go there automatically because of the point system that they have. I find it very beneficial when I'm in a foreign country and there's an expense that pops up I didn't plan for, and I can pull on my loyalty points to be able to purchase maybe an airport pickup, or maybe there is a transportation system in a tourist town that I can get access to by using my points. These things become very handy, especially when you did not budget for them or didn't plan for them and so forth. So because of that, for me, any travel booking for me, I do it all through Expedia because I don't want to be spending 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 US on booking a hotel and airfare and not get points from it. So because of that, I always use Expedia, and that's a way how Expedia keeps me using them and allows me to tap into, or rather they tap into my lifetime value as a customer by using their loyalty point system. All right, so guys, understanding your digital customer journey is very, 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 very important. There is a customer pathway to sale that we will look at when doing the workbook. And this is something that I believe we all need to understand fully, grasp the concept fully if we're going to execute any type of e-commerce strategy. Because at the end of the day, guys, after building the e-commerce website, the next thing is to promote it, generate leads, generate business, and it all starts with understanding that digital customer journey. Now, what is lead generation? In marketing, lead generation is the initiation of customer interest or inquiries into a product or service of a business. That's Wiki's definition. Now, Oxford's definition defines it as the action or process of identifying and cultivating potential customers for a business's products or services. Now, I quite love the second definition, mainly because of the word cultivating. At the end of the day, guys, lead generation is all about positioning your product to the people who are most likely to be interested in buying it, and cultivating that interest with those potential customers. Bottom line, right? You know, when you think about ad on TV, that's a lead generation exercise. So any advertising campaign, whether it is a radio ad, a TV ad, a newspaper ad, a billboard on the road, a display board that somebody nailed to a light post for a party event, right? A graffiti on a wall telling somebody to buy something or to go somewhere. All of these things are lead generation tactics, right? So we have to understand what tactics to use and when to use it, right? When it comes to lead generation as well, there are normally two different types of approach that I like to look at when doing lead generation. There's the mass approach, and then there's a direct approach. Mass approach normally looks at using mass communication channels like a TV, radio, newspaper. I kind of see Facebook advertising as the digital mass communication approach. You know, Facebook advertising is a place where there if it's billions or trillions as yet, but it's a lot of people out there, and it's easy for us to place ads in front of every and anybody. You know, it's kind of a catch-all type of market space that they can market to person. And then, you know, after persons maybe have joined the mailing list, landed on your website, fill out a form, something, then we can be more targeted and be more direct with them. You know, so it's where things like SMS, email, phone calls, WhatsApp, whatever sees you sending something directly to somebody, you know, that to be more direct, targeted communication. The masses kind of when you put it out there and you kind of throw in a fishing net out there, you know, you throw a net and you kind of, you know, everybody you catch all, you know, it's almost like you have no control over who comes back to you when you throw that wide net, you know, as opposed to, you know, when you be very pointed and you go direct to somebody, send a message directly to this person about this campaign, sharing this type of information. Very different, right? And we'll look at both of them as part of this particular engagement, right? Most common types of leads, you have to understand who are leads and, you know, how do we categorize them? And, you know, sometimes when we're selling products, oftentimes we don't necessarily go through the start process. Either you're a customer or not. You know, it's either you move from not buying from me to buying from me, you know, because generally the sales cycle is pretty short, but at the end of the day, the prospect or a customer does go through all these different classifications of leads until they become customers, right? Even if you are executing a very short and simple sales process. For those of us who are in consultancy and selling of services, we will definitely need to understand this concept for us to be able to properly convert our leads into paying customers, right? So it starts with a customer being cold. A lead being cold. A cold lead is a lead who has never heard about us. They don't know anything about our business. However, they may fit the profile of our target customer. So let's say, for instance, I'm in the business. Let's use the example of Kim's Beauty. Kim's Beauty's target customer would be the female, say between 25 and 50, who is either a tourist or living in and around Montego Bay, right? This person fits that profile, but they have never ever heard about Kim's Beauty. They say Kim's Beauty, they say, Kim what? You know, they don't know who Kim's Beauty is. This is what a cold lead would look like, right? And for cold leads, typically you would seek to you know, send them emails, SMS, cold calls, share things with them on social media or news articles, content that I believe may sensitize them about you and what you have to offer. Typically, cold leads require a lot of nurturing, and you know we have to play the long game with cold leads. Especially when we sell a service that requires them to understand it to buy. Again, for those of us who are selling products, retail-based products, sometimes persons will move from being a very cold lead to becoming a customer very, very quickly. But again, as I said, they still go through all the different stages. Then a warm lead is somebody who fits the profile again. Once they are lead automatically, they fit the profile. This person has heard about us before. You know, they say, Kim's Beauty, yes, I've heard about that company before now, but I don't know much about what they do. You know, this is where now you try to reach out to them with friendly communication. So if, let's say, for instance, maybe they joined an email list, or maybe they watched a video, or maybe they downloaded an ebook or something, you know, and you have some information on them that allows you to connect with them directly, let's say via email or SMS or even say WhatsApp. You want to, you know, reach out to these persons with special offers. You are not a total stranger to them, but they have never really considered you for doing business before. With these types of persons, typically, you want to bait them with something. You want to capture their attention with something that provides the value that they need at a price that allows them to easily consider trying this particular product. So you want to offer them specials and support, right? Then you have hot leads now. Hot leads are persons who, again, fit the customer profile. They know about your business. They may have interacted with a rep of the business, or maybe, again, you know, maybe they were on your website, maybe they watched a video, maybe they just came out of a training session like this and they're ready to buy, right? These persons are hot leads, right? You follow up with them immediately. So whenever persons fill out my customer forms, I always tell my sales rep that if you can get to that customer within 10 minutes of them filling out that form, you will have the most optimized sales experience that you possibly can with this customer. Why? Because they have this need right now. And if you can have that conversation with them right now, while they're having this need, you may be able to capture the sale because of the moment that we are in. And I adapted this principle not out of going to school and learning it, not out of somebody teaching it to me, but out of it just happening to me in my own shopping experience. I remember a few years ago, I was looking for software for something, found something online that looked like it could be it, and they had a free trial. So you see, they offered me a special, a free trial, right? I tried the free trial, I signed up for the free trial and poked around in there for 2 minutes and logged off. I got a call 10 minutes later from a US-based number, person asking me about you know, the trial, and asked me if I had 20 minutes to spare for them to just show me how to set up a campaign in the system and offer me all the support that I actually needed, which is why I jumped off after 2 minutes, right? So I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to have to just take advantage of this right now. And because of that, they were actually able to sell me on the first month of using the system, which got me into using it now. I did not continue it because it did not meet all my needs, but this is a company who went from cold to sale in half an hour, or let's say 40 minutes, an hour, right? Selling a product that required explanation and support. Why? Because they followed up immediately. Because of this type of approach. I remember in COVID when the heat was on and people were contacting us like we're getting forms being filled out daily, like, you know, probably 5 to 10 different forms, input, interest being filled out daily. And, you know, a customer called me directly to say, Leighton, are you running a call center? You know, I want to see how I can leverage a call center to sell some of my products. I was like, no, it's not a call center. It's just how my sales reps are cultured to sell or trained to sell. You know, we get an interest, we call back immediately. And we do this because we use our website as our main way of promoting our business. I go on a TV show, I go on a newspaper interview, I go on a speaking engagement. People ask me where to find me, I give them one thing and one thing only. I don't give them no social media page, I don't give them no phone number, no address, no email, I give them my website address. Because this is the only way for persons to get information from me. I have to support it with adequately, with quick turnaround. Remember, you know, People are used to taking up the phone and calling and getting information immediately. I'm asking you to fill out a form. It means that you're going to have to wait to get the information in it. If I can reach out back to you with the information right away, automatically the customer experience is optimized. Automatically the customer has a positive view of the company they are working with. And if there's a trust factor to overcome, we have already won that trust factor from a customer, right? So I can't express anymore how important it is to follow up immediately with hot leads, right? And hot leads, again, can come through in the form of your website live chat, maybe a WhatsApp inquiry, an email inquiry, any type of expression of interest that comes into you is one that deserves immediate follow-up. Oftentimes, sometimes we're so busy as entrepreneurs that we feel like I'll follow up with this person later. I have something more important. Sometimes it's just easier. Just stop, drop, and roll. Just do the follow-up immediately and move on with the business. You know, it puts you in a positive position to close the sale. It gives the customer a great experience. Right. Also, you know, checking in with them, following up with them to see if they need more information after that initial call, again, is another way to win them over. Typically, guys, you have to understand that, you know, selling, especially for those of us who sell complicated services or products that require persons to understand what they're buying, we have to embrace the sales process that comes with that, right? And you know, for us to be able to optimize that entire thing, we must understand the customer buying journey so that we can move the customer through the sales pipeline as they need to. Sometimes hot leads as well, leads overall require a lot of follow-ups, right? If you are contracting a sales team or a salesperson to call people, you want to have them focus mostly on your hot to qualified leads, right? Requires a lot of following up. Then you have a qualified lead, which is the lead that you want everybody to be. You would love for every single lead that comes through your pipeline to be a qualified lead. Unfortunately, that won't be the case. Just like us, when we see things online, sometimes we pick up the phone and we call somewhere just to get information. At that point in time, the person is not a qualified lead. To become a qualified lead, you must go through a process, and we're going to talk about that on the next slide, right? For qualified leads, these are persons who are interested in what you have to offer. You've already reached out to them, you've already made a contact, you've already provided pricing, you've already established a need for the product, you've already established that, hey, they need it and they need it now, right? So at that point in time, what you want to do is close the sale. You want to make compelling sales arguments. If it's that you need to negotiate on price, you negotiate on price. But this is where you want to spend the majority of your time. So for example, when you are working on lead qualification, you want to be able to look at that from a process perspective. I'm gonna share something with you on my end, just using a CRM system that we use here in my business to manage lead generation and just how all of that comes together. And this is a system that is called Bitrix 24. Bitrix 24 is actually one of the better CRM systems that are out there that gives you the ability to start for free and does not really limit your capabilities. What they do is that they start paying when to start having certain amount of users, right? But it's a quick snapshot, guys, of what my Kanban is looking at right now in my business. So we have inbound leads, we have outbound leads. Remember, guys, that we're looking at inbound and outbound. So inbound would be a person who are expressing interest, outbound are persons who we are going after, right? Then what we typically do is that we seek to qualify these persons' interest. Do they have a real interest? Do they have a need? And do they have a valid need? And do we have a solution that fits that need? Is the qualification process, right? At this point in time, we then move them to the proposal phase where we actually send them a proposal, we send them an email, we send them some type of costing or roundabout costing that gets their interest. And they say, all right, send me the official quote. Is going to move them over to the quotation section of this Kanban, right? Generate a quotation, we send it over to them. Once they say, Leighton, we are ready to go, generate the invoice, we move them over to deal one. and complete the exercise. So in this case, persons, we invoice, we send them the contract, we collect payment, right? All those three things happen within the deal one phase. Just wanted to quickly share with you why it is important to understand this process, because you will have to execute it. Whether you set it up like this, like me with a CRM system, or you just have your sales rep to go through the process, you will have a process to go through when you are selling to your customer. So it's important to understand qualification and how to what makes a customer a qualified lead and what happens after the lead is qualified, right? Let's talk about lead qualification for a little bit. Understand whether or not a lead is qualified. Marketing teams must normally use the band strategy to do that qualification. And these are the 4 considerations that determine whether or not a person is a qualified lead. Do they have the budget? Are they willing to spend the money? So when I'm on a call with somebody, because website development and the thing that I do, you know, sometimes it's almost like building a house. There's no out-the-box solution unless we provide an out-the-box solution. When person comes to us for custom jobs, you know, we have to figure out first and foremost how much money do you have to spend. It don't make no sense. I come to you to present a mansion when you only have money for a 1-bedroom dwelling, right? It don't make no sense. So I'm gonna ask you, what's your budget? What do you have a budget in mind for this execution? A lot of times person will say, boy, Leighton, I honestly don't have a budget because I don't know what these things cost. Sometimes people say, Leighton, I have about 2,000 US, or maybe I only have 500 US, right? And that's their budget, right? And if persons don't have a budget, sometimes what you can do is then test their pricing tolerance. What I will typically say when persons say, boy, I don't know what these things cost, so I'm coming to you now to get a quotation so I can see what it costs. Then I will say to them, all right, what if I charge you 5,000 US for a solution? How would you see that? Is there something that would sit well with you based on the value of what you're looking for and what you can do for your business? And they say, boy, that kind of tough, you know. And I say, all right, cool, no problem. What if I told you that this solution would cost 1,000 US? Would that be more in line with your affordability and the value that you're looking to get from it? And I say, boy, yes, it may be in line. And they may say, boy, you know, to be honest, I don't have that amount of money. They may come and say, all right, what about 500 US? And at that point, they may say, all right, 500 US, I think I can afford that. I know right away, I know I'm dealing with a small business customer. I know the pain points and I think that they have to overcome. So I already categorize them and start to qualify where this customer sits. Now, if this customer can't afford something for 500 US, I may say, boy, sorry, I can't help you. You're not a qualified lead because you can't afford what I'm selling, right? Or maybe it is that I have a cookie cutter solution, I can get 100 US, similar to what we offered with the Get Paid engine to VEAP customers, right? And we may say, all right, so we have something that allows you to start up, it won't give you everything that you need, but it's a budget-friendly solution. So you know right away where to categorize your customer opinion, because sometimes we do sell products based on value at different rates, at different price points. Even if it's a bottle on a shelf, you could buy a 5-liter bottle, you could buy a 600 ml, you could buy a 1 liter. There are different price points, and we have to know how to sell them to the different customers based on their budget, right? So budget is the first thing we have to overcome. People can buy what they can't afford. Then the next thing is, do you have the authority to buy? Now, in the case of, again, a product salesperson who is selling a product on a shelf, or something that needs to need to be added to cart, then of course the buyer has the authority in that case. But if we're dealing with a company and a contract, you don't want to be talking to the receptionist, the person at desk. You want to be talking to the manager in charge or the supervisor who has the signing authority, the ability to make a decision, or else you will find yourself spending a lot of time, wasting a lot of time talking to people who cannot buy from you. So we have to, second thing we have to understand is, who are you and are you able to make the decisions to move forward with this particular transaction? If not, then let us get that person involved, because we want to optimize the time spent in engagement, right? And then when you get that authoritative person in place, then they can confirm the need that they have and ensure that the solution that you are offering fits their need, right? Keep in mind, guys, we all sell solutions, no matter how simple it is that no matter how simple the product is that we are offering. If we're selling a bottle of water, it's a solution to thirst. We're selling a juice, it's a solution to thirst with taste, right? If we are selling an iron, it's a solution to crush clothes. So every single thing that we sell is a solution to a problem. And what we have to do is identify the need that the customer has, and then provide a solution. It also goes into our marketing communication, how we do brand identity, how do we get persons to resonate with our brands and our companies. What is the solution that you provide? So if, for example, last week or so, when we were talking about the different solutions, e-commerce solutions that are within our current group here. At the end of each person's presentation, I try to summarize, what we can get from them. And you'd have seen where people like Planting Seeds offer things like warehousing, offer things like warehousing. You'd have seen where Shop Carry offered a solution for artisans, right? You'd have seen where Ethnic offered a solution for those who kind of want to have it done for them, right? And we could see where Get Paid offered a solution that allow persons to start from where they are and scale immensely without any limitations, right? So every single thing that we sell is a solution to a problem. A person does not buy something that they do not need or want, unless it's a charity, right? But it all starts there. So we have to confirm that need, especially when we sell complex solutions, especially when we sell consulting services, and especially when we sell services, even a simple thing as buying my internet package from my provider. I work from home sometimes, so I need a certain level of internet speed. My colleague may work at home too, but he is a media editor. Let's say he does video editing. So he's dealing with very large files. He may have a greater need for more internet capacity than I do. You get me? So when we sell services, we still have to categorize our customers and ensure that our products are appealing to the need that they have, right? And then the last thing is timing. Timing is everything, guys. Timing is everything. Timing makes every sale possible. And I always like to use sales in liken it to relationships, when we're courting people, is that for me, courting sales is almost like courting people for their money. You're trying to get the person to buy into you, your brand, what you have to offer. Simple, so that they can you can get that money from them. It's the same thing as a relationship. You're getting someone to commit to you. You want to get someone to commit to the purchase, right? It's the same process that you have to go through. And we know from our all personal experience that sometimes there's a good time and other times there's a bad time. We need to know when is a good time to sell this product, when our customers most likely to buy. And because of this, things like having a calendar of sales periods is something that we're going to discuss, especially when going through the workbook. I like to look at my year based on selling periods or commercial seasons. Sell the products that persons are likely to buy when they have the need for it. So, for example, you'll notice that there are certain things that only sell during winter. There are certain things that only sell during summer. There are certain products that are sold for Valentine's Day, for Father's Day, for Mother's Day, for Independence Days. There are these commercial seasons right throughout the year. There are also financial seasons for companies. So, for example, here in Jamaica, the government's financial year is, I think, from April to March. So you find that any spend that government is going to make has to happen before March, before the budget closes. And if you want to get new things into the new year, then you want to get it in ahead of that budget conversation, right? You have other companies who they're planning January to December, right? So if it is that you want to get into that company's budget, you got to be pitching what you have to pitch by October, because that's when they're having their management meetings, their retreats, and all these things, right? So these are the 4 things, guys, that you have to consider every single time you are making the sale. Budget, ability to make a decision to purchase, do they have the need, and is it the right time? So at the end of every conversation, when I establish that the person has a budget, establish that they are deciding authority and the need matches the solution that we're offering, My next question is when? Like, how soon do you see yourself starting this project? It allows me to also know what my follow-up process should look like, right? Do I need to be following up with this person weekly? Do I need to follow up with this person monthly? Do I give them 6 months and check them back at that point in time? Are questions that I typically have to ask myself, right? Now, sales pipeline is important to understand. The sales pipeline is in line with the customer journey, or a part of the customer journey, right? But we have to understand what it takes to close the sale, right? And one of these things here is starting with, of course, making contact, as we have mentioned before, qualifying the sale, having a meeting or a presentation or some type of call or discussion. Then, of course, you propose something to them. And that proposal can be just a verbal proposal, it can be a written proposal in an email, it can be a WhatsApp message. I can't tell you, these days I can't tell you how much business I close on WhatsApp without having any verbal conversation with persons. I mean, it has gone to another level right now where WhatsApp communication is concerned. And even just doing business remotely, you know, making your proposals and closing, guys, no longer has to be a face-to-face sale. I mean, you're part of an e-commerce incubator, so you know this. E-commerce is all about remote selling, digital sales, selling without having to see somebody in front of you. And I can tell you, I have closed deals here in Jamaica that was bringing like 300,000-400,000 a year in sales, right? And I've never met any of these persons face-to-face ever. It was done via phone calls, WhatsApp messages, emails, but never ever a face-to-face meeting, not even at the time a virtual meeting like this, just over the phone, emails, contracts, WhatsApps. So it can be done of anybody, guys. It can be done. It's just a matter of, you know, how that you choose to execute. So, you know, make your proposals, and then of course try to close. Always try to ask when closing, so that you know how to close. And you don't become a nuisance to people. You know, you want to remain likable at all times, just like in your relationships. If you're courting somebody, you want to be likable right throughout, you know, until you close. Some of us change after we close, but the idea is to continue to be the same, right? And then of course, once you close, once you're in the close stage, you have to be following up, right? So close oftentimes is not a one activity, unless again we're selling simple products where person just add a product to cart, or they you know, take a product off our shelf and bring it to the cash register. Typically, once you're selling a service or a consulting type of engagement, any high value type of sales require follow up and constant engagement. Keep in mind as well, guys, that the follow up is not because people don't want to buy, they need more convincing. Sometimes it's just busy people busy. You're just one of the vendors that they're dealing with, you know. So following up, staying on time, you know, just continuously expressing the interest that we want to close the business. I have a client right now from Trinidad, that I thought would have paid me from last year, October. Every week she's going to the bank to make the payment, and every week my sales rep is following up. Until she tells me, Leighton, I do not want the service, we shall be following up. We not stop follow up until she either send us the money or tell us she is no longer interested, right? And sometimes we have to know how to call out the customer, because sometimes people will string us along and waste our time, right? We have to know how to call them out. So we've had to do the same thing with the customer. You're not making any move and so on. And then she will explain to us what is happening on her end, why she has not, you know, honored the commitment as yet, what her next plans are going to be and so forth. But follow until anybody else? Can you just confirm, please? Yeah, but you're muted. Anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You were breaking up
Okay.
just now, though. You were breaking up just now.
Okay, well, you hear me now. Right. So I was just simply saying a while ago that follow-up is very important. I was giving the example of a client that I have from Trinidad who has come, who got their proposal, has agreed to proceed, from as early as long as last year, October. That's like, we're now in what, March, that's about 6 months now. And we have been following consistently for the last 6 months. And I will tell you flat out that we will not stop following up until she either makes the payment or tells us she is not interested. And I was also saying that sometimes people will string us out. So we have to know when to call the customer and say, hey, what's going on? We're moving on or not, you know, and give the customer an opportunity to either explain what is happening on their end. Maybe they need some more time. Maybe they've just dealt with a death in their family. Maybe something is happening in their business that is preventing them from moving forward at the time that they intended to. There are many different things, guys, that will get in the way of the sale. Continuous follow-up is the only thing that will get you through the sale, especially when you're selling high value products and projects, right? Now, knowing the customer, I will tell you guys that 9 times out of 10, the problem that persons have with digital marketing is that they do not know their customers. They do not understand exactly who they are, how to connect the solution with the problem that they have, what exactly is the problem that they have. And, you know, learning about our customers for me is a continuous exercise. Why? Because customers are continuously changing. Their needs are changing as they get exposed to more products, as the environment which we live in changes. Right now here in Jamaica, we're going through a drought season. So rain is supposed to come soon. And I know with rain comes another change in the environment. So if you're in agriculture, this may impact you in that particular way. You understand? So knowing the customer and so forth is very crucial to digital sales, because at the end of the year, guys, you have remember the name of this module is lead generation through target marketing. To execute target marketing, you have to be laser focused on who you're going after, why you're going after them, with what value proposition, at what time, at what price point. That is how specific we have to be when doing target marketing, right? And this is the type of marketing that pulls persons in. This is the type of marketing that persons like Amazon and all these successful digital stores have perfected over time. And you're not going to start the first day and get it right, I will tell you. You know, oftentimes we start with a very broad target market, and sometimes we start with one customer, right? Sorry, one product. And we say, all right, this is the target market for this particular product or these sets of products that we're offering. Oftentimes it becomes more complicated the more products we sell, and the more complex or intertwined our products are linked to each other, right? But at the end of the day, guys, for every single problem that you solve out there, there is a particular type of customer that problem is solved for. And market segmentation is about defining who that customer is. Where are they located? You see here, or let me go back to, sorry, let me go back to presentation more. Where are they located geographically? Are they within the same town as Kim's Beauty in Montego Bay? Are they in another area of the country? Are they in another city? Are they in another climate? So yes, it is summer in Jamaica or in the Caribbean, but our summer is winter for Qatar, for argument's sake, you know. We have seen an example of Qatar World Cup last year being played in December. This is because of the time of the year that that best suited that type of activity. So we have to be very mindful, guys, of our environmental factors. You know, population size. There are certain products, you know, guys, that if your population size isn't of a certain count, it doesn't make any sense. because you need a certain volume or a certain number of persons to buy the product for it to become profitable, right? Demography. What is the age of your target customer? The case of Kim's Beauty, we're targeting persons between the age of 25 and 50. Why? Because we want Kim's Beauty services are not necessarily cheapest, they are trendy, they are stylish. You're gonna have to spend a little bit of money at Kim's Beauty. So Kim's Beauty wants to ensure first and foremost you can afford their service. They're not gonna target an 18-year-old who's fresh out of college, who wants to go to mommy and daddy for do their hair. She's gonna go after persons who are making their money. Yes. Kim's Beauty is also not gonna go after somebody who is above 50, because maybe at that point in time, persons start becoming a little more comfortable with themselves. They're not so much into trends and fashion anymore. Yes, they still want to look good, but Kim's Beauty focuses on trends and fashion, right? So maybe persons who are over 50 who have not yet been a customer of Kim's Beauty may not become at that point in time. They may choose, you know, a service provider who best fit the need at that particular age. So that's very important. Kim's Beauty also only facilitates women, right? Kim's Beauty could have gone as far as saying, I want women who have kids, because women who have kids have very specific needs. Maybe it is that Kim's Beauty wants to offer at-home services, and you know that women with kids may have less time to go and sit down in the salon chair for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours at a time. You know, we as females, I've seen the headache that you guys go through to get your beauty services done. Sometimes these appointment wait times are just ridiculous, right? So understanding who the potential customer is, different things that impact them and affect them are the things that help you to sell your services to them, right? So that's demography. I mean, there are many different things that you can break down here. You have occupation, income, education, religion, race as well, nationality, right? There's one thing, you know, in the Caribbean, I've come to realize that there's class as well. You know, there is, in Jamaica, there's the uptowners, and there's the middle class, and there's the lower class, you know? Persons sell to different classes. In Trinidad, I've heard about different classes as well as it relates to, you know, whether you're Indian or whether it was the light skin Indian or dark skin Indian. I don't remember what it is. I heard the term Dougla before, and you know, there are these things that you have to consider when selling to these customers, or how they buy, or you know, what are the things that they go after and so forth. You know, these are things to understand, especially if you are in the business of selling premium products or selling cheaply priced products, right? We have to be very clear about where we're going. The psychographics includes lifestyle, or as you mentioned, Kim's Beauty is going after the trendy. Maybe that person is into going to events, so we know Kim's Beauty salon is going to be busy, and maybe it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, because these are the days of the week when, you know, events are coming up. As you have seen here for psychographics, social class, I just mentioned it a while ago. You know, we see these things, and I know, as you mentioned here, race is one of the things that, you know, we deal with in these first world countries, where there are many different types of race that make up these countries, right? Then you have personal values and attitudes. You know, is this person of a religious nature or not? You know, will this person buy a sexy outfit, or do they need to be more covered? For instance, I've seen where plus size products are doing very well these days. A lot of Caribbean women are in the plus size category, and their biggest headache is always that, hey, I can't find styles to make me look good, you know. Everything look frumpy and make me look old. You know, plus size is doing well, you know. So look at people who have different types of needs. Behavioral talks about occasions now, guys. Occasion-based selling is something that we are going to delve into, and it's something that impacts that time value. Remember, we talked about those 4 things that qualify as a lead, and time is very important. Occasion-based selling is the perfect way to catch people at the right time. So if you sell gowns, you sell dressmaking services, if you sell beauty services, if you sell anything like that, graduation period is a very good time for you, right? Throughout the year, you may not do a lot of business, but once it comes around to the graduation period, then person have to get their wares for graduation, get their makeup done to take their graduation pics. If you're a photographer, you definitely want to capitalize on those periods, you understand? Knowing the occasion, sales occasions through the year is very, very important, guys. Remember, we always have a limited amount of money to spend, always. And the need to promote and market is always bigger than the budget. So if we only have $1,000 to spend on marketing every single month, I want to spend my $1,000 on the product that is most likely to be purchased. The product that is most likely to be purchased, more than likely, is the product that is going to be in season. I mean, you have something that's still right through the year. You know, you can't beat that. And for those, we run brand campaigns right through the year. But you have certain products that will do well at specific times of the year. You want to get as much visibility on that product as is possible. All right. Then we have things like level of loyalty. So you have customers who are very loyal. I remember somebody shared me recently, and I can't take buying from some of these Instagram stores who have limited stock, because by the time the person advertises the product on the Instagram page, you go to the shop the next day, it's all sold out. Why? Because the person inquired with the store manager, why is this so? Why you just advertised yesterday? This is very annoying. You know, I've left my job midday. I didn't have lunch. I came down here to buy your product and you don't have it. And the person said, listen, you see, the minute I advertise that product for sale, people start sending money to reserve it. So yes, the products are here waiting to be picked up, but they are already sold because they have very loyal customers. And maybe their strategy is to also release products with a limited quantity to keep that consistent demand going, right? So there are these things that you have to consider when you think about the behavior of the type of customers, right? How do persons use the product? Are you selling salt or sugar? If you're using salt, then we don't expect somebody to finish a bag of salt in 1 week, but maybe they can finish the sugar because you use sugar in many things, How do persons use your product, right? As we talk about readiness to buy, buyer stage, user statuses, these are things that I'm sure we can add more considerations to these things, but these are the things that we must know about our customers to be able to target them specifically. And you know why, guys, this is so important? At the end of the day, the minute you start using campaign managers, these advertising managers, if you go on Facebook, Instagram to run an ad, if you go on Google to run an ad, if you go on any platform that supports targeting, these are the questions that you're going to have to answer. Where are these persons? How old are they? Are they male or female? What are their interests? What are their behaviors? What are their life events? Did they just get married? Did they just get engaged? Did they just have a baby? Did they just buy a house? Did they just travel to this location or not? These are things that you have to indicate in those ad managers to be able to execute the campaign. So understanding these pillars of target marketing is very in market segmentation is very important to running a successful campaign. You will end up like me, having 10 leads and no buyers, right? Because we did not segment properly. So it is through an iterative process that I was able to get it right. And as we say, guys, it doesn't happen in one go, right? It doesn't happen in one go. We have to keep in mind that these things are iteratively done, right? We started, and same thing we spoke about with the work, but just started. Once you started, then you'll refine. You will not want to continue wasting money because of that. You will make the effort to make the tweaks that are necessary to get the results that you want. So after a while, of course, in my example of getting 10 leads per day, maybe it dropped down to maybe about 5 or 3 per day, but these were persons who actually had needs for what I had to offer. So I'm not in the business of generating leads, I'm in the business of generating sales. So it doesn't matter if I'm getting 10 leads and nobody's buying. I would rather get 1 lead and not 1 person is buying. You get me? So that's the idea behind target marketing. Now, To profile your customer, you can use a template like this to do this. Of course, you know, you have a picture which of course depicts a man. Then we can talk about what are the types of products that we sell or that customers use. What are the demographics as we see here, you know, career, industry, location, gender. What's the customer story here? Summarize how the customer, summarize the customer story in a couple of sentences, speak the traits and so forth, tell the story about the customer so that you can understand, your staff can understand, and everybody who is interacting with the customer can understand. Sometimes we sell some solutions to problems, guys, where the customer automatically is going to come in frustrated because they're already frustrated by the problem that they're having. Tell that story as part of the customer story so that you, as the manager, can create the customer's profile, customer's path to sale. You, as the manager, can instruct the team members on how to interact with and deal with this customer when they come in. And we're not just talking about coming physically into a location, but once you start interacting with them. There are some people where once they have a problem, they must start cost. If that's the type of customer you're dealing with every day, then you need to have a way how to deal with that part of the customer, because it makes no sense to spend all this money advertising, generating leads that come to you, and then it's a very miserable experience from start to finish for everybody. There are ways to go around this, So understanding also your customer benefits. What's the benefit to the customer? I like to understand the customer benefits because these become a part of my key sales arguments. These are the things that I repeat over and over to my customer to ensure that they understand the value of what they're buying. Customer pain points, very important. Again, how do we match the benefit with the pain? How do we match the need with the pain? How do we help the customer to move from a point of frustration to a point of being satisfied and being very glad that they have found you? I can do that in my case because of how unique our products are, because of how innovative our products are. When persons find my business, oftentimes they're very excited because they're like, boy, I didn't know there was anybody like this locally. I've been looking at this, I've been trying this, I'm failing at it, I need some support. And I feel like I found the right person, So when you understand the person's pain points, you can communicate the benefits, and you can have them walking away feeling very confident that they've made a very sensible buying decision. One of the things that we never ever want to find ourselves, guys, in is a position where the customer has buyer's remorse. I don't like it. I like when a customer buys and they feel good about their purchase afterwards, whether or not they made that decision in 1 minute or 10 years. Buyer's remorse is not something that we want to have our customers have, because customers will talk and they are quicker to talk about the issues that affect them than the things that make them happy, right? So in that regard, we want to definitely have customers have a pleasurable experience as is possible. Key customer insight. It's very important, guys. It's one of the most important things to making the sale. Yes, you run nice ads. Yes, you appeal to the customer's pain point. Yes, you position the benefits in a way that the customer can clearly see how the solution benefits them. But what exactly is going to make that customer buy? What is going to make that customer say, okay, sir, okay, ma'am, go into their wallet and take out their hard-earned cash and give it to you, especially for products that are of a high value. Yes, if it's just a bottle of water, even there's a buying decision. I went to the gas station recently and opened the fridge to buy a bottle of water, and man, the catalog was extensive, and I had to sift through that catalog to choose one bottle of water to buy. What's going to make me buy that one bottle of water when there are so many options at the same price? What's going to make your customer buy from you? What is going to make your customer buy from you? What is going to make your customer buy from you? I've repeated it 3 times so that you guys can ask yourself the question, what will make your customers buy from you? You have to know that. You must know that for you to convert sales consistently. Remember now, guys, run a business is not a hustle, you know. It's not a no and then thing. We need sales to be happening every day and as much as possible. What is going to make those customers buy? You must know that on the back of your hand. In my instance, I know it's trust. Trust is everything in my industry. Trust my customer, the product, the purchase could, the budget could be perfect. I could have the right person who is making the right decision, the buying decision, right? I could have the pain being addressed spot on, right? I could have caught the person at the perfect time to buy. My customer will never ever buy if there's a lack of trust. Never, no matter what, no matter how desperate they are for a solution. Even COVID taught me that if they don't trust that this is going to offer the value that they need at a price that they consider is reasonable, they will never buy from you. Never, ever. You need to know, guys, what is going to make your customers buy from you. Without that, none of this makes sense. None of it at all, right? Any question on that element of it? Any question at all? Does anybody want to volunteer their business and tell me what makes their customers buy from them? I'm opening up the line for questions on this particular element. Any question? Anybody want any insight into their own business as what they can position as their key customer insight? Feel free to put your hands up right now. Gilbert will select you and you can hear it. Come guys, I'll give you 2 minutes or 1 minute. If nobody puts up their hand, 1 minute, I'm moving on. All right, that's it.
And it could be more than one thing, right? It doesn't have to be one single thing. Go ahead, Shan.
Okay, so what makes customers buy from me? That the information is non-technical, that it is easy to understand, that it is coming from a person they consider to be an expert. Because it's not if I consider it, it's if they consider it. What else? What else have I used? Those are my top 3.
Right. And those are some.
Yes, Shan.
Go ahead, Shan. Go ahead, Shan. You were saying something else?
No, I was just gonna say that that those are the top 3, and they are also the things that people have told me about why they buy from me.
From you. Let's see, guys. Shan,
one other thing, Clayton.
Okay, go ahead.
With a keen understanding of Shan's business, I think although she would tell people, should be told all these things, at the end of the day, when Shan walks away from your business, you're left with a solution. If I'm buying from Shan, I'm buying from Shan because I am left with a solution to my challenges.
Right. But you know what, Gilbert? At the end of the day, I could go down the road and check Master John, and Master John could offer some solution too. But what is going to make
not like hers.
Right. What is going
not
to
like hers?
What is going to make us buy Shan's solution over Marshan's solution? And the key customer insight, guys, have to come from the customer. It's not your perception. Shan, I'm going to ask you to mute back on my please.
Oh, sure. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, man. Thanks for your input, Shan. So Shan's customer insight cannot come from Shan. It has to come from our customer. It has to be developed based on what our customers tell her. So you'd have heard that the proposal is non-technical. Why is this important? Because Shan is in the consulting space, and for a person to be able to make a sensible buying decision, they need to understand what they are buying. And sometimes us who are specialists in our areas communicate our value and make our sales pitches in a technical, highfalutin way where if you are not a specialist in that space, you won't understand it. Keep in mind, guys, a specialist does not bring in a specialist. It's the non-specialists that are going to bring in specialists into the organization to help them to do this specialized work. Because of this, we as a specialist have to come down to the client's level and communicate very clearly what our value proposition is and how we are going to help, right? And as you have heard as well, they are confident in her professionalism and what it is that she has to offer. So it comes down again to a little bit of trust being included. You know, they make this buying decision again, come back down to what they can understand and how they perceive the business. So thanks a lot, Sean, for offering your key customer insight.
We have Wayne.
Wayne, let's hear yours.
Hi guys, morning. How you all?
Good man, good to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, for me, one is the customer service experience that I give the individual, whether it's in person or on the telephone. I don't care who you are or gender or anything like that. I just have a real basic conversation with you, the individual. And the next thing is the why I made this product. Many people make barbecue sauces, but why did I make this particular product? The uniqueness of it and the fact that it embraces Bajan culture. I think that's my sell to customers, and that's why they keep coming back.
Okay. So your customer experience delivers the value to the customer in the way that they want it, and they are also buying because they definitely want to buy homegrown based products.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can't discount. I'm sure everyone in this room could probably tell you, man. One of the things that is seriously lacking in the Caribbean environment is customer service, customer engagement, right? So Wayne, that is huge. How you engage those customers, it's very, very important. I'm spending my hard-earned dollar. Time is of the essence, and I'm coming to you to get a product, and you're treating me with respect.
Yeah,
important.
Absolutely.
Customer, you know, unfortunately, we have heard Caribbean businesses mention customer service a lot as one of their competitive strategies, you know, and people say, boy, it's unfortunate that, you know, customer service is an area that we compete on, but the reality is that it is an area that we compete on. We are very poor at it here in the Caribbean. And because we're very poor, when somebody does stand out in that area, it makes a world of a difference, you know. And again, when I send solutions to persons' problems, one of the things that we do not want are frustrated customers. So when you're keen on delivering solid customer service, that definitely makes a big difference to the customer in the value that you're offering to them. I mean, yes, we want the customer to get good value, but we don't want to throw it after them. We don't want to give it to them any way. Yes, we want them to get it from you in a way that they have a positive customer experience, in a way that they will now become advocates. They'll say, boy, you know, I got such great experience from these guys. I will encourage anybody to buy from them. And this is social proofing. You'd have seen where a lot of persons invest in getting Instagram influencers to create videos about their experience with their brand, to talk about the service and, you know, what they got from them and, you know, what's it like shopping from this customer, because these companies know that customer service and how persons view the buying experience directly impacts the ability to close many sales, right? So definitely an area that we have to focus on at all times, whether we're selling a product or a service. Gilbert, any more hands went up? Or that's it?
No, I don't see anyone else. Anyone else? This is the time to jump in. Yeah, we have Latoya and we have April. We go to Latoya first.
Good day, everyone. What makes my customers buy from me? The products that I sell, they work.
Ah,
So they would see progress pictures, or other person would refer them. Let's say somebody tried the products and it worked for them, and they know that somebody else is having an issue with their hair. They would be like, I used this product and it worked for me, and I would recommend this product for you to try. So a lot of persons were referred customer, or they type in on Facebook, like, you use the hashtag and it would pop up, and they would see the progress pictures from somebody else and they would buy it.
so question, Latoya, do you encourage every customer to take a picture at the beginning of their journey?
Yes, but
Okay.
when they send me, I would ask them if it's okay for me to post, because not everybody is okay with you putting
I'm
your
not,
business out.
I'm not even talking about the posting of it. But
Yeah.
what I'm simply saying is that if your key customer insight is that it works, then one of the things that you want to demonstrate as much as is possible is the fact that it works. And
Yeah.
to demonstrate that even just to the customer, because sometimes, things work for someone. It's because and every customer's journey will not be the same. Products will impact people in different ways at different scales in different time, right? I may choose to buy, let's say, for instance, I am going bald for argument's sake, or I'm getting gray, right?
Mhm.
And I choose to get a hair loss product for argument's sake. And I use that product, let's say the prescribed period for using that product is maybe say 1 month, right? But because my hair never really grow fast from morning, I not gonna see that different, or not, it's not gonna be very obvious to me looking in the mirror. But see, by just taking a picture and being able to compare that, it allows you to prove that it works to even more customers. And then when your customer start telling other people, they will say, hey, look at my hair. All right, let me show you, man. Let me show you this picture that I took a month ago. You understand? It allows you to be able to demonstrate that it works a lot more to even more people, even to the customer themselves. Because remember, the customer believing that it works gets the customer to buy again and again and again and again and again. And then through that loyalty, they will become advocates for the fact that it works.
All right, so we have April next. April, want to go ahead?
Everyone. Just similar to like Latoya, some of the reasons why persons purchase from me is because first and foremost, they love the sense. They speak about it after using it, and then they love how the product works. Sometimes what I do though is when I do pop-ups, I would try to record persons on the spot using the product. Sometimes first time, sometimes they are return customers. I would record them and I would post that. So that's and then I also try to encourage them to refer as well, or at least if they send me a message stating giving a feedback, I would ask them to post it officially, send them the link, or I would create a screenshot with their permission and post, and then modify it accordingly to the different sites that I'm going to post. But basically, they purchase because they love how the product smells and they love that it works and how it feels.
Very good, very good. Roland, you're up next.
Yeah, good morning. Well, since my product is kind of unique, what make people buy from me is that because of the uniqueness of my work, as they see it, they love it. It work for them. They are inspired by it, and when they don't buy it for themselves, they will buy it for a friend as a gift, and they will just imagine talking to me about it, how their friend will really, be inspired by writing in it. Now, I have been making these books and these journals for the past 19 years, which is a long time. And it's been always, I've been great challenged by the people who interact with me concerning, their feelings and their expression and so on. Late last year, around the holiday, a Supreme Court judge from one of our island, I don't want to name the person because, and so on, but he bought one from me, and he was so excited, At the moment he looked at it when I was in that particular event, he looked at it, he examined it, he admired it. This gentleman walked back and forth about 3 to 4 times, questioning me, talking to me, and looking at it. And he could not just resist that book, And then he finally go around so many circles to get me after the event, a couple of days after the event, about 2 days after the event, to get in contact with me. And I purchased the book. And, he said to me that, he just cannot believe, in how he would enjoy writing in this book and so on, and that inspired me. He sent me a written text and so on, and a text that he allowed me I can use on social medias and so on, but without mentioning his name. But I am greatly, inspired by these comments. And of lately, somebody bought one book for a friend, and because when they received the book, I add other extra little things, with it and so on. But when they received the book, they called me back and they said the book gone, it went beyond their expectation. And the other 2, which I'm still in the process of making and to deliver, so that's people think about my product.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Hold on, Gilbert.
But Gilbert, I will reach to you, right?
Okay, that's what.
Yeah, man. All right, hold on. I want to stick a little pin on Roland's story here. I like it. First and foremost, guys, there is a strong benefit to uniqueness. One of a kind product, something I can't get elsewhere. For categorization purposes, I would say it's very good for gifting, right? And if we should, let's say, for instance, look back at some of the things that we've talked about earlier in the slides. Roland's product could be used for gifting occasions. So if Roland was supposed to target his customers, he could target special occasions like your Mother's Day, your Father's Day. Valentine's Day will be a tall order because it's not necessarily a love-related gesture. But if maybe somebody is really into these types of books and journals, this could be something of great value to them. So like females who like to journal, I know males and writing is not really their biggest thing, but I like to make notes. I have a book for that, so my book is becoming my best friend. So I could see where I could really value having something like this, but I want to also talk about the example of that judge and his buying journey. If you notice how he went from a cold lead to becoming a customer in a day or 2, and how he kept coming back to get more information. A part of that, of course, is him assessing his need and assessing the product fit and so forth. Clearly he has a budget, he's a judge, so he must have enough money to spend. Yes. He identified the need. Of course, he has the authority, and he came back 2 days later because he just felt like he needed to have it now. And this is a typical journey of a prospect moving from a very cold lead, somebody who knew absolutely nothing about you a couple of days ago, to becoming a customer and potentially becoming an advocate because of how strongly he feels about this particular product. Now, in terms of Roland's product, maybe it's not a product that has high turnover in terms of usage, but again, when the leaves are done, the leaves are done. It's going to be time to resell to get that customer to buy again. How do you set up processes in the back end of your business to get these people who are so highly impacted by your brand and feel so strongly emotionally about this thing that they've bought to get another one and know that, hey, I'm not buying the same product. I'm gonna get something totally different again, you know. These are things that we ought to think about. And I just wanted to highlight as coming out of the key customer insight, how it revealed the customer's buying journey, the decision-making process, and just how quickly and easily somebody can move from being a core lead to becoming a customer, you know. I've seen many products out there that, you know, I didn't know before I've come into knowledge about these products. I've yet to buy them, maybe because maybe I'm waiting on the budget, maybe I'm waiting the time. But when it all comes together at the right, in that way, we want to kind of create a profile, which is why we say create a customer profile. So we would want now, Roland, to create a customer profile of that part, those examples, and just only go after these types of first. Remember, you know, guys, we have marketing budget, but it's very limited, and sometimes we don't have none. Right? Sometimes it's the marketing budget that we spend. If we don't get any sale from that budget, then we suffer, yes? So we have to be very intentional, very purposeful about how we use it. Gilbert, back to you. Who else we have?
I see
Right?
Wayne has his hand up again. Yes, Wayne, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. You know, I was inspired by what Roland said just now, and it brought me back to just this week. I had a similar experience because I do collaborations with people, right? And just this week, I was doing a collaboration with chicken wings, and I was offering a barbecue sauce with the wings. And just this week, a guy called and he said to me, he said, Wayne, you know, I make it a habit not to use barbecue sauce. I don't like it. There's nothing appealing to it, and so forth. And actually, I was kind of like taken back. And then he said to me, but you see yours? I would use it every day. I said, what? That's just the original that you had. I said, what happens when you taste the other flavors, like the rum fusion and the pineapple? And he said, well, you know what? I need to get a bottle of each of those so that I can now try them. And it's amazing how you can, because of the uniqueness of a product, you can actually sell on it, and individuals will buy into it, you know? So I just wanted to hear that in connection with what Roland was saying with the judge liking the uniqueness of his product, you know?
Right. Wayne, I just want to point you to a company here in Jamaica called Winking. They sell wings as well. But what has made them popular is their homemade sauce. They have some unique homemade sauce that you don't see anywhere, like Domino's sells wings, and they have many sauce, but nothing compares to these guys' sauce. So I want you to take a look at them. They are successful because of the sauces that they pair with their wings, not the wings, the sauces, you know. Take some research on them. Maybe you can get some inspiration from that thought process. Gilbert, anyone else?
No one else. And just as you're pointing out and Wayne is pointing out, is those sales generating leads, right? If you could collaborate with other businesses in that space, Wayne, even if you take a hit on your prices, the fact that you become a household name allows you to drive sales deeper into your market.
All right, thanks for that, Gilbert. All right, so we're moving now to customer, to ballot drivers to be activated. Again, guys, a lot of different things to consider. You've seen how very specific you have to be, which is what makes digital selling a lot more different from physical selling. With physical selling, you have a lot of leeway to adjust your messaging when you're talking to somebody, to answer questions, to demystify things. With digital selling, you have to be very specific, you have to be very targeted, and you have to be very complete in your communication. There's no opportunity unless maybe you are providing some support by email, live chat, and so forth, which is also important. But there's no opportunity in the moment without those channels, just the customer on their own making a buying decision to be able to answer any questions that they may have. You know, again, they can add frequent ask questions. There are many tools that we can throw in to give the customer as much support, buying support as is possible. What we want to do, guys, we don't necessarily, as business owners, we don't want to have to do all these things. If we can just create the product page, we can create all the different resources that we need to close the sale, to allow the customer to close the sale on their own. That would be a perfect one. That's what we aspire towards, right? So we will typically, when we're executing data sales strategies, we'll always find some areas that we'll have to just do manually because maybe budget can't afford it today, maybe processes don't support it today, so we have to do it manually. But little by little, what we want to do is automate all of these. And by automating, you have to be very specific, very clear, and know exactly what we're doing. Value drivers are one of the things that we must understand around what makes a customer buy. Value drivers are the things that impact the perception of the value of the product that you're buying. So you're going to run a campaign. Let's use the example of Kim's Beauty, right? Kim's Beauty is running a campaign for getting more persons to do her hairstyles, right? What are the value drivers that she may need to consider activating or letting persons be aware of so that it impacts how they see the value of what she has to offer? It includes availability of her service. So first and foremost, Kim's Beauty, when are you open and available to deliver these services? Are you open 24/7, which would be a very unique offering? I mean, I know persons who would probably go to the salon at 12 o'clock in the night and maybe leave at 6 a.m. and be okay with it, if that was a possibility. Are you open only during the week, or are you open on weekends? You know, you have some people who are open Sunday to Sunday. You have some people who are open and only Monday to Fridays. You have some people who are open only Tuesdays to Sundays because Monday is their slow day, so they choose to close those. What's your availability like? Because if you're not available, then I can't go to you. If you're not available anytime that I'm available, then I can't go to you. The next thing is affordability. We have to make people know, we have to make the target market know that they can afford this service, right? So they need to know what the price point is, of course, when you're communicating. And so many times, you know, we think automatically, yeah, we should know this. But up to yesterday, I was reviewing a flyer for a client. And I was saying, all right, so these things are missing, you know, what you're selling your product for, what's the key call to action? There are many things that we can overlook oftentimes when coming up with our marketing message or marketing communication to communicate the value of what we're offering to our customers, all right? Then the next thing is multi-use. Can the product or the service be used in many ways? Meaning that, for example, recently I was buying some stuff for newborn baby, right? And you know, nothing that was bought only serves one purpose, because of course you have many things in the category that's competing. So I'm going to be choosing things that I can do this with it and I can also do that with it, because sometimes we just never know what else you may need things for, right? So is it multi-use? Quality, is the hairstyle going to be of high quality, or is it just a regular ear wash I'm going to get? You know, what exactly is the offering where quality is concerned? Where Kim's Beauty is concerned, reliability would not be a real consideration, because you don't need a hairstyle to be reliable. All it needs to do is really look good. And well, reliability can come into consideration where the longevity of it may be concerned. So maybe somebody's going to lock their hair and they expect that this locked hair should last them for 6 months. They're going to expect that it should stand up and be reliable and durable for that period. Yes. So it could be a consideration, right? Ease of use. Well, this one is definitely not a Kim's Beauty value driver, because you're not using the hairstyle per se. You're getting the service done, and that's it. Features, again, well, features could be a part of this offering. All right, so let's say, for instance, Kim's Beauty is, again, she's promoting, you know, getting your hair done. Is she promoting just regular wash, cream, and style? Or are you going to be getting the Beyonce braids? Yes. Are you going to be getting locked hair? Are you going to be doing rope twists? You know, all these different types of features. Are you going to be putting beads on the end of my braids or not? You know, I know when getting your nails done, features are a major part of that. There are so many different ways and styles for presenting your nails these days. That features, you know, could be. So are you including features? Are you telling person to come to you because you're going to be getting these features? So what we're doing, guys, here is that we're looking at what are the value drivers that you must communicate to people to communicate the value that you are offering to them, right? is your product or service well supported? So let's say, for instance, somebody was getting their hair a lot, and you provide the ability to tighten it, maybe say in 3 months' time. So it's supposed to last for 6 months, for argument's sake, or we give you a servicing of the hairstyle at 3 months to tighten it and make it look about neat again and so forth. Is it well supported? Agility. Agility oftentimes refers to more technology-based solutions. I don't believe that this would fit very well with Kim, but let's use the example of Kim. I could see where somebody could say, all right, Kim's Beauty, you know what? I want a wig. Why? Because I can take it off and put it down. I can wear it whenever I want to wear it. Today I pop up in it, tomorrow I'm in something else. I can get many different styles, wigs, So agility could be a consideration there for Kim's Beauty, because the person wants that flexibility to be able to look different at different times, while still looking good, right? Quality, good service or quality of service is always very important for everybody, right? Documentation in this case will not apply because there's no really nothing to be documented. Training, either brand name clients could be a big pulling factor. So I know that, beauticians oftentimes again reach out to these popular social media influencers. Hey, let me do your hair for you. All I want to do is go back on social media and tell people that, hey, I'm the one who did your hair. I also want the ability to be able to mention to the person that I was the one who did their hair. So when somebody come and say, oh, this is the person who did such and such hair, automatically they assume that you must be of a certain quality because you are dealing with brand names. In my business, especially in consulting, brand names are very important. We communicate brand names as a way to build trust and to build confidence in our potential customers. So if there are some companies, and I learned this in doing business, that once you get a certain type of customer, sometimes that customer is more valuable than the spend that they spend with you. Why? Because you're able to name drop. You're able to say, hey, I am doing work for this type of customer. And that maybe that customer is an industry leader that has maximum respect from everybody in the industry and even those just looking on. So once people hear you are doing work for these persons, they automatically assume you must be of a certain caliber, right? So these are the value drivers to the customer. But what are the value drivers to the company? What is important to you for this particular campaign that you're about to run, or this communication, this marketing communication that you are sending out? Is it that you just want to focus on driving awareness of the availability of these products with these value, with this value? Is it that you want to get persons to consider buying the product? Meaning that are you also offering something that gets them to read more, learn more about using these styles or applying these styles? Trial, are we getting persons to try the product? Are we maybe offering a discount? Are we sending out a limited time offer? Are we doing a buy one get one? So maybe you purchase something, maybe you purchase a hairstyle, and maybe you get a nail service done because you want a person to try it, or a nail service because maybe it's new. Just throwing things out, for Kim's Beauty. So these are things that you may want to get out of it. Also, feedback. Is feedback at this point in time in your business important? Are you new to the market and you want to be continuously improving your product? Or maybe it is that you're old, but you're launching new products and you want persons to give feedback. Or maybe it is that you just at this point in time, you want to do a routine maintenance of your business and you want customers' feedback to see what you need to improve and what you need to do away with, Do you want persons to refer your company to other persons when you're running this campaign? And also, do you want, is your intention here to maximize the customer's experience? So focus on the customer value, maximize the customer experience so that they can either become loyal customers or become reference of your business. So whenever we're looking at marketing communications to our potential, to our prospects and our customers, we have to focus on what value are we offering to the customer. If you send me an email, and say send me an email marketing, an email blast, from I read the caption, if I don't assess that there's some value in this email for me from the caption, I'm not going to open that email. But all right, say I catch me with the caption. first paragraph better be banging, because again, I don't like to read and I have very limited time to offer. So you need to capture my interest in the first paragraph of whatever is in that email. And you have to communicate these values to me, at least give me an idea as to where I'm going with all this reading, you know. So these are things you have to consider, guys, when you're looking at running campaigns. What is the value, both to the customer and also to your company, that we are going to get out of this exercise, right? One of the things as well that you have to be very intentional about, guys, is knowing, as it goes back to knowing our customers, we have to identify what our most profitable customer looks like. Why is this important? Because at the end of the day, guys, we're in business to make money. And what we want to do, wouldn't it be a perfect world if all our customers belong to the most profitable customer category? It would be a perfect world, but that does not exist, right? So we need to know what our most profitable customers look like so that we can go after more of those customers. So it's important, guys, to know the customer, understand them, and know how to categorize them. So for example, one of the things that I will do from time to time, I will do a report on my top 5 customers who spend with me. And I will look at what makes up these customers. Are they of a particular industry? Keeping in mind that my business is B2B. Are they of a particular industry? Are the decision makers within a particular age group? Because when I'm going to run ads on social media, the business itself does not have a heart, a mind, and blood flowing through it. It's the individuals within the business who make decisions on behalf of the business. So when I'm running a marketing campaign, I'm not running a campaign looking for businesses. I'm looking for business executives. You get where I'm coming from? So who are these persons? What are their age? What is their gender? Where are they located? What's their education level? What's their occupation? Which industry does the business fall in? What's the income bracket of that customer? Or maybe how do we classify them? Are we looking at them as the rich and uptown? Are we looking at them as the middle class? Are we looking at them as the lower class? You know, psychographics. You know, what are their beliefs? What's their value? What are their desires and fears? What are their expertise? So in my case, I've come to learn that my ideal customer are actually persons who have great expertise in their specific area, but they just don't have the expertise in my area and need a type of support, right? So it's important to understand these things. What are their values? Again, in my example, these guys, they want a turnkey solution. They want something that works and doesn't break and doesn't have any issues. Those are the things that they value. So if I can present that value to them, I will get their business, right? Of course, again, understanding their behaviors, you know, hobbies, socializing, buying behaviors, and lifestyle. So if it is that, again, Kim's Beauty, we're selling hairstyles to person, we'll be going after the persons who are having a very active social lifestyle. They're the ones who, nobody, well, I'm not going to say nobody, because a lot of persons these days dress up and take pictures in their room and post it back on social media, yes? But by and large, most persons want to look good to go outside, to go somewhere, right? So what are they doing with their time in terms of hobbies? Where are they socializing? How do they buy? All these things, guys, help to make key decisions in setting up campaigns to run marketing messages to your target market, right? So this is very powerful and very important to understand. Right? Let me minimize this. Right now, how do they buy? Okay, just my internet connection become a little bit unstable with us. Doing a sound check. Gilbert, anybody hear me? Just want to double check.
Yeah, hearing you loud and clear, but yeah, you did have a glitch a while ago.
All right, great. All right, so how do they buy? Do they make an order? I think we talked about this when we were doing our business modeling, right? But again, we're not talking about lead generation. We'll talk about it again. How do they buy? Do your customers make an order? Because the process of how you generate those leads and bring the customer through the buying journey is going to be different depending on every one of these. So how do they buy? Do they make an order? Meaning that, do they simply add a product to cart and check out? Do they come to your business, tell somebody what they want, it's handed to them and they leave? If that is the case, then that's the most simple version of selling anywhere, online, offline, or otherwise, which is why so many persons do it, right? Of course, typically with making an order, what you typically do here is drive as much traffic to your product page, right? And from there, persons who are interested, of course, will make their orders. Then looking at the sign up way of buying, if persons are signing up, then we can't have persons adding product to cart. After persons fill out a form, right? That's a part of how persons sign up for something. You fill out a form, submit an application to be a part of something or to access a particular service. So in terms of how that shows up online, of course, you'll have to have an online form. And if there is a need to make payment as part of that submission, then we have to integrate some e-commerce and payment tools with that online form to facilitate that sign-up process, right? Are you selling bookable services where a person needs to complete a booking where they secure a particular asset or service for a period of time? Again, that requires you to have booking systems in place. And we'll have talked about this in last sessions workbook exercise where we're going through the e-commerce system that are needed to close the purchase. But knowing how persons buy is very important. Again, booking, right? Requesting a quote. Are we selling complex services? Are we selling services that require persons to make an assessment before, have a consultation before, have a meeting before, assess what needs to be done before a pricing can be provided? That way of selling normally takes a little longer, but also normally sells products at a much higher price point, right? So whilst it does take longer, it does compete for the business, right? And again, of course, you can choose to set up quotation tools, quotation request tools to support this process. But it's important to understand, guys, how your customers will buy if you're going to be optimizing their path to sale, right? There are many different tools out there that we can talk about that allows persons to buy directly. So, for example, I'm working on a project right now where we're helping them to structure an Easter campaign. In Jamaica, we eat a lot of Easter bun and cheese, right? And they're driving traffic to their product page. Typically, if you drive traffic to your product page, I'm going to add to cart, and go to checkout. I'm recommending to them that, hey, let's skip the cart phase and allow that everybody who clicks, who lands on this page, they don't add to cart, they click a buy now button. It brings them to the product page and put in the information and check out, bam. So you shorten the process to purchase, you optimize the time that the person has to spend on the website. You'd have heard many times about, the less clicks to sale, the better, right? So we are lessening the steps and making the process a lot more seamless. There are buying journeys where you land on the page, you click buy now, there's a pop-up on that page. You don't even move from the page to complete the buying process, right? And these are things that we can do to optimize the path to sale when you understand how persons buy, right? Similarly, for requesting a quotation, normally requesting a quotation requires you to explain your service, provide more information. So I could set up a system whereby once somebody requests a quotation, even before they get it, I start to send them email campaigns that explain to them how my solution works, what is my sales process, of course, how it will benefit them, and all those things. So that by the time they get the information, the quote back and the proposal and all these things, they're already understanding a little bit more about my business, which equips them with more information to make the purchase, right? So there are different things that you can do to optimize any of these ways of purchasing to get persons to complete the sales process in a much faster way. But it all starts with us understanding how the customers buy, right? So we're going to talk about communication channels for landing traffic from your campaigns. All right, so these are some examples of platforms and resources that we can use or typically use to sell our products and services, or to land traffic, as we say, from our campaigns and why we use them. So we have standard e-commerce websites and vendor websites. Vendor websites would be like your marketplace solutions, right? We went through this last week. The difference between both mainly is that, you know, your own e-commerce website, you own it, you have full control, it is within your domain, you can execute anything you want. On vendor websites, you are participating within somebody else's platform. So you're able to capitalize on what comes with a marketplace, like, you know, traffic and whatever value added services the marketplace offers. But there are some, you know, there are some controls in, or once the limitation, but there are some controls in place around how you access the service and what you can do with it and how you scale from there. What's the benefit of landing persons on these? Because at the end of the day, now, guys, there are persons in the cohort who are just starting. They don't have any budget for a website. They don't have any budget to go on a marketplace. So they need to understand what are the available channels out there and what are the benefits of choosing these channels. So that's exactly what we're going through at this point in time. Starting with e-commerce website and vendor websites, and you're able to display your products, features, prices very clearly to your target customer. You're able to also collect orders so people can go through the process of adding a product to cart, checking out. Even if they don't make payment as yet, they can submit an order for processing, right? Then you can add payments to that where persons are able to submit online payments to close the sales process, right? You can also offer a self-serve service where people go online, purchase their products and never ever have to speak to a soul, right? It also allows you, the administrator, to manage customer data and enable marketing automation. Allows to also capture sales leads, so capture leads and sales information.
Yeah, I think Leighton is probably having some technical challenges. Let me see if I could reach him. Sorry about that, guys. We having internet issues. I'm trying to reach him.
Guys, are you hearing me?
Welcome back, Leighton.
Gilbert?
Welcome back.
Yes, apologies. I told you we were going through a drought, right? So the rain started falling and immediately the power went. I don't know. All right, so I'm back. I'm using my hotspot on my phone. So I hope this is enough to
Just
keep
got
things
another.
going.
Yeah, we just had another 15 minutes to go.
Okay, all right, great. All right, let's pull him back up. All right, cool beans. All right, and you know, we're pretty close to the end, but all right, so let's keep moving. All right, so website landing pages are very good for services. Keep in mind that you can also use landing pages to sell products as well, especially when you want to highlight a specific product and talk about its features. Landing page does very well at selling the product that you have to offer, right? So it allows to explain the value proposition, features, and pricing, allows to capture leads through a website, through a sign-up process, as well as streamline lead collection, streamline the lead collection process and enable marketing automation, as well as provide good analytics for your business. Social media page now, so you don't have money for a website. You don't have money for a landing page. social media is free. So we can always start there. As I said, you always want to get the low hanging fruits out the way as early as is possible. So having a social media page is one of those tools that you can leverage to generate business for your company. Benefit of social media page that you can display products, features, and pricing. You can collect orders manually. Persons can message you and send you their orders, and you can process them, and you can also communicate with customers. My only challenge with social media is that it is fully out of your control, and a particular page could determine tomorrow that for one reason or another your product breach of their regulations. Even recently I found out that one of my pages has been barred from running ads permanently. For what reason? I don't know, because I never even start running ads on it yet. So I'm curious as to why these things happen, you know. But at the end of the day, it's a free resource that gives you a good launch pad within a market size that is bigger than most countries, if not all countries put together, right? But social media is a good place to start for business who have no budget for setting up any type of infrastructure, right? Google My Business page is another very great area, a very great resource that you can use to land traffic for your business. It's a trusted source. There are links to main communication channels. You can have a call, you can get directions to your business, you can find a website. Persons can save this business, and then also you can view reviews. And reviews, I can tell you guys, are one of the most powerful assets of Google My Business, because when you search for a service provider, it ranks you based on those reviews as well. So if you have the best reviews, not the most reviews, if you have the best reviews, I guarantee you'll be at the top of that list. My brother who owns a moving business, and he builds his business 100% on reviews. He has no website. He has a social media page, but it's the reviews that gets him business, right? Whether through search or through persons seeing the reviews and saying, oh yeah, man, these guys are serious about what they're doing, right? And it displays additional information like, you know, opening hours and even your customer traffic. So don't sleep on Google My Business. It's a free resource that you guys can take advantage of. Other communication channels that you can land customers to is, you know, your email. You can always put an email to say, hey, contact me here. You can put a text number, text me here. You can put a phone number, call me here. You can put a WhatsApp number, message me here. Even on your social media campaigns, you can run campaigns now that helps you to get more WhatsApp messages. Right, so not all campaigns must terminate on our website. There are these other resources that we can leverage that allows you to take advantage of your current situation. There's no place that there's no starting point right now that exists where you cannot leverage to run campaigns and generate business. Yes, there is an ideal way of doing it, but these campaign channels definitely give you a leg up, especially for persons who are just starting on. So you can explain the product features and pricing, you can manually collect orders, and can build a relationship with your customers. Campaign mechanics. Now, it's important to understand the different types of campaigns that you typically run out there. And you know, it all starts from awareness, because it starts from a customer not knowing it. So you have to make sure you become aware of your product. And typically, the aim of the purpose of this is to drive awareness about your company and its product offerings. The promotional channels that you can typically use to drive awareness include Instagram, Facebook, email, SMS, YouTube, and Google Display, right? And these are just you know, pairing the promotional need with the type of channel that best suits it. Search. This is a very powerful campaign type. Search campaigns help you to get found easily when prospects are searching for products you sell. So somebody is looking to get a hairstyle done, they're gonna go on Google and search best hairstylist in Montego Bay, or salon in Montego Bay, or beauty beauty services in Montego Bay, and you want to be ranked at the top of that list or be easily found. So, you know, there is the awareness where you push information out there to tell, to shout to the world, hey, we are here and this is what we sell. And then search is more about discoverability. How do we allow persons who are looking for the solutions that we provide to find us? Channels that best support this include Google search, Google My Business, search engine optimization for websites, writing blogs, help your website to rank well and provide additional content about products you sell. So for example, if you have a look at belly pain right now and you go on Google and search belly pain in the right area of my abdomen or something like that, you know, just throwing something out there. The amount of articles that you will find from service providers telling you about this belly pain, you will be so confused by the time you are done because there are so many different options, yes? But they all are blogs that write content on behalf of other individuals. Then there's also product tagging. It's important to tag your products. So for example, if I'm selling Kim's Beauty's hairstyling, beauty services, I want to put in things like hair care, beauty service, hairstyles, beauty technician, and all the words related to getting your hair done in that product tag. It helps to make your website more searchable, whether it is your website, your product page, anything that you're doing, even your social media page, these keywords show up, you know, and keyword marketing is a very powerful thing when it comes to search, because what it does, it allows your business to show up when persons are searching for particular words, right? Then you have your seasonal promotions that happen throughout the year. You know, this is where you capitalize on popular commercial seasons throughout the calendar year to promote your product. So you heard me mention earlier about promoting to persons or selling to persons when they are most likely to buy. Again, you have certain things that persons are going to buy: Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter, summer, Black Friday, Independence Days, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Teacher's Day. There are these many days right throughout the year, or seasons or periods right throughout the year that we can capitalize on. We have to organize our year based on those seasons, right? Then we have special offers. Sometimes we want to publicize special offers to new customers. Maybe it's that we're having a clearance sale. Maybe it is that we introduce something new and want persons to try it, right? Again, for both of these channels, Instagram, Facebook, SMS, and email are great channels to promote this type of campaign, right? Then you have upselling and cross-selling. So this is where we are existing customers. I want to get them to try other products, or else get them to buy more. This is where now we use direct communication channels only. I speak directly to them based on their purchasing history. So this is where now we're using that SMS, email, and even giving the person a call, right? Loyalty and referrals. As you know, loyalty is getting an existing customer to continuously shop. So having can manually do it, guys. If somebody buy from you today, you can write one point under that person name in our book. You can write it in an Excel document, or you can have it set up in a e-commerce type system, right? And of course, using email marketing to continuously engage them and give them reasons to continue shopping with it. And you have things like a referral campaign, which is where you're getting customers to refer your business and benefit from the referrals made. So you'd have heard me talk about a referral system earlier, and same thing with email marketing. So you want some type of system, want some type of process around capturing these points and communicating to them around the points and how they can leverage it, how they can use it, how they can gain more, you know, of that. Choosing your promotional assets. So you're going to run a campaign, you're going to promote Kim's Beauty's hair service. Are we going to be using a video? Video is the most powerful type of asset these days, but it's also the most expensive, right? But you know, if it's that you have the ability, there are different types of videos that have video ads. These motion graphics where it's just sound, text flashing across a screen. Sorry, and then you have these GIFs, right, which is just like a slight animation on a graphic that draws person's attention. I like GIF ads to start with because social media is so crowded these days. Social media and just being online, you know, persons are very strapped for time, you know, and the whole person use social media. If something doesn't jump out to you immediately, it's very difficult to capture person's attention. So I like to use just as my starting marketing material. Of course, you have your flyers as well, which is a step, which is normally what you step up from to add the GIF, right? But you use the flyers in like your emails. Again, on social media, you can use that. But this is still graphic. You can print your flyers as well, hand out to persons. And then you have things like your downloadable assets that you can use to promote. I've used guides before, training as well as a way to generate leads for my what I do. So I have to use information resources sometimes to showcase the person, hey, I'm good at what I do, come try it. In the case of Kim's Beauty, she could use an ebook for style, like a lookbook or a style guide, something like that. And again, she's a service provider who is supposed to be a professional at what she does. She can use these types of assets to portray this, right? Then communication tactics that we use to create buying urgency. This includes free offers. So you want somebody to try something, give them a free sample sizes. You just give them up for free. Hey, try this with that, try them with that. As I said, do collaborations with persons who have products to sell, and offer sampling with the product. You can do that. Limited time offers is a way to get persons to buy now. All right, I want this product I can get it at half price today for a limited time. I'm definitely gonna be buying that today, right? I don't want to wait 2 months down the line to pay double the price for it. No, I'm gonna be buying it today. Same thing with limited stock as well. If I really want this product and I don't want it to run out, I'm gonna be buying it today, right? Pre-order at special rate is a great way to get persons to buy stock that you don't yet have. So for example, I know that, hey, Kim's Beauty's nail polish is a hot seller, right? Hot seller, as it come it done, right? I can say, all right, you know what? I'm out of it now, but I'm going to, if you pre-order it, I'm in the middle of ordering a new batch. If you pre-order, you're gonna get a 30% discount, right? So that when it comes, you get it at that rate. That allows you to keep on selling, but you don't even have the product, right? So this is a way that allows you to get persons to buy products from you even before you have it in hand. So these are some of the tactics that you can use to create buying urgency. And my last slide talks about campaign KPIs. Now, at the end of the day, guys, you do all this work, run all these campaigns. One of the biggest advantages of running digital campaigns is that you are able to get information, real-time information back from the campaign as it is being run. You want to ensure that you set important KPIs that are relevant to the campaign success. So this is where now you want to understand how many persons are you reaching with your ads, how many screens are your ads showing up on, how many persons are clicking, and what's that cost per click. Am I paying 3 cents US per click, or am I paying 1 cent? Of course, I want to pay as low as possible. So I want to know what that is so we can optimize it, right? Number of visitors. All right, so we're spending $100 per month to run this campaign. How many persons are actually even just visiting the website? How many persons are coming to me in my WhatsApp chat? How many persons are connecting with us after seeing these ads? Is where we'll get our number of visitors from. Then after the persons visit the website, how many persons actually fill out a form, express interest, or become a lead? From those expressions of interest, how many of them are actually qualified leads, and how many of those persons actually move on to buy? We have to track these things, and there are many other KPIs that we can add in of the session. We're going to run through the workbook exercise for this module together using Kim's Beauty, so we can see how it comes together. All right, that's pretty much the last slide. I saw there was a chat item. Later, will I go deeper into SEO in the program? All right, so when we get into the practical elements, we will definitely delve a little bit deeper into these different campaign channels. So we can definitely talk about SEO as part of that engagement, right? And I know this is an area that a lot of persons don't clearly understand and want to understand more about how they can use SEO in their campaigns. All right, so that's a good question to ask. Are there any other questions we're just about at the end of our time. I can reserve another 5 minutes for any questions that persons may have to ask.
Yeah, thanks for a great session, Leighton. Definitely, I know we've seen that we went through a lot of this content relatively quickly, right? Because just remember, there's a practical aspect to this.
Not hearing it so clearly, Gilbert. You're breaking up badly.
Yes, Gilbert. Very bad. I thought it was my connection because I'm using my hotspot. Yeah, Gilbert, they're very choppy. Very choppy.
Is it still the same?
Still choppy.
Yes, still the same.
Let me disconnect and reconnect.
Yeah, probably can jump out and jump back in. Yes, so this is sounding very robotic. I thought it was my connection because I was using my hotspot. But anybody have any questions or any other comments on this area? I'm just gonna quickly, I'm just gonna quickly show you guys what the workbook format for next week looks like. Here is an example. So this is what we call our e-commerce planner. So from the e-commerce blueprint that you would have completed, this is a complementing document, the e-commerce planner, that breaks down, your campaign details, your sales targets, your target market segmentation, defining them, key selling points, your customer journey mapping and lead generation, your conversion tactics, KPIs that you will be tracking, and how you set up your execution timelines. So here we'll look at what are the campaign details, name, period, objective, what are your financial targets, your revenue targets, your customer count, market segmentation. So who are those market segments, and how is it that we define those market segments, as in, who is the best value, who provides it, who gets the best value from it, where can they be found, what exactly do they need, and when do they buy. We're also going to be talking about key selling points. So, key selling points normally for me are summarized in these four brackets, whether it's quantity, quality, value added, or pricing. Just really look at the customer's part of sales. So these are the lead generation channels that we typically look at. And you notice that it also includes offline, because we have to look at the way that bridging the gap between your offline execution and online. These are your lead conversion channels. You may drop somebody on a blog and drive back to a landing page and to the product page. Or you may go straight to your product page and go to checkout. You can also skip the entire product page cart and go straight to checkout by optimizing that part of sale. Then we'll be talking about lead generation activations for the different channels that you choose to execute against. Also, what are your lead conversion activations based on, again, what the pathway that is chosen for sale, right? So we're gonna leave you guys a very clear way of executing something like this. And again, these are data points, as we've added more to the workbook as data points that you may want to monitor, and having also an execution timeline and Gantt chart around how all of that comes together, right? Then from there, what we will seek to do is to build out templates for how is that going to show up on social media, how you're going to show up on Google search, how you're going to show up in all of these areas are the next areas to discuss. So we're going to be discussing this next week, as you can see, very in-depth execution of the workbook in relation to this particular module. Again, any questions before we leave?
I do have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
This is Ayola George from Dexia in Dominica. I was on the session last week, and I wasn't sure if it was you who was speaking at the end or someone else, but the person said, click the link to go into the meeting. And as soon as I put up my head to click on the link, the session was closed. I still went through my email, but it kept telling me host is in another meeting. So I wasn't able to get in. And usually you guys send a recording of the meetings, but please excuse me if you did and I missed it, but I didn't see anything re the BSO meeting. Is there something you could send, or if you send, can you resend to me, please?
All right.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that last week.
Yeah.
Let's see if Ramona has it.
Okay.
If he did record anything. All right, everyone did, and we'll try to get active to you.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Am I sounding better
Yeah.
now, guys?
Yeah, man, you're much better. You're much better.
Okay,
So,
so as I say, go ahead, Leighton.
yeah, I would just say that I'll ask Ramona to so here she's saying that he'll reach out to you. Right? He's messaging in the chat, so you can connect with him maybe in the chat on that. But he'll reach out to you. All right, great. Gilbert, you were saying back to you.
Yes, I was saying, I know we went through, I know one of the outcomes of the meeting last week was more practical aspect to what we do. And it may seem that we've ignored that, but the fact that we went through this so quickly is no discounting what comes after. It is going to be a practical element to all of this content that Leighton just unloaded on you, right? It was big dump. And then we're going to go into the practicals. You're going to see examples of exactly what we're talking about or what he's been talking about and how important it is to measure these different lead and the lead generations that you are tracking. And what's the cost for customer acquisition and customer retention, that type of stuff. So expect that. Do not feel disappointed and do not feel overwhelmed with your content that you've received today. It's going to be broken down in a practical manner in the weeks to come.
All right. The aim of the program, guys, I'll say is to provide the education first and then give you the practical to follow up, you know. So we
I have
set
another question.
Sorry.
Okay, this may be answered when the slides are sent to me or the recording or whatever, but considering that some of us there's some things I know already, some things I'm familiar with, but I'm learning a lot myself as a BSO representative. And I recall at the beginning, you talked about the workbook, which someone mentioned that when they saw PowerPoint, they just assumed it was the presentation, and me as well. So I wanted to know, in terms of the businesses, filling out these workbooks about their businesses and us, the BSOs, also learning as we go along with them. Are we supposed to be like partnering with the BSOs, offering support, working with them in some capacity, or is this just a thing where we're all learning together? Just so I know moving forward.
Let me answer that. So on these sessions, we are all learning together, even me, the trade, right? We're all learning together. So we are unpacking the information to both BSOs and to companies. But the role of the BSO is to support the participants with coaching. So these exercises that need to be completed, like the workbook exercises, we expect the BSOs to liaise with their participants to see how it is going, provide support to them around, getting it done. If there is something that they don't understand, we're going to hope that you have a better understanding, and maybe through having a discussion about it, you both can figure it out together. But in the instance where you can't figure it out together, we have now included a feedback link that allows you to drop any question in that link to get answers addressed to your question. So what we're going to be seeking to do is to address those answers at the beginning of every session. So whilst the BSOs are working, while the participants are working on their workbook exercises and just thinking about their business, and any question at all that comes up, we're going to ask to drop those questions in that link. That link will be shared weekly with, it's never going to change, it's going to be the same link, but it will be resent every week along with your course content, so you can leverage it, right? So the role of the BSO is to support the participants in getting through the program, in understanding the content, applying it to their business, and also completing the program exercises by the workbook and then the technical engagements when we get to the practical element of it. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other question before
You're kind of breaking up again, Leighton.
anything from yeah, man, sure. Anything from Caribbean Export or Gilbert before we
Yeah, we just say thanks everyone again for another great week. I'm going to share an idea that one of the BSOs had.
Just asking if there were any other questions. That's all from anybody or any comments from
You're breaking up
Caribbean
really
Exposure
bad.
Gilbert before we wrap.
Leighton, you're breaking up badly. I can hardly
You're
hear.
breaking up badly, yes. Yeah, so again, I'm saying thank you guys for another great week. I'm going to share an idea that Leroy had as a BSO, which I thought was great, in order for her to get a greater in-depth understanding of how this entire process works. And I guess it's our way of learning it by doing. She is actually creating a fictional business that she's going to go through the entire process, just like if she was a firm. So I think it's a great idea. I'm happy to help her along that journey. So if anybody else wants to do that from the BSOs, great idea. All right. Thanks again. See you guys next week.
Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, Leighton. Great job.